Good day, everyone. How is everybody doing? That's wonderful. It's wonderful. Spectacular, even. We are, of course, having a blast here. Sorry it's so late in the day. It's just been a really hectic day. A lot of people still wanting to get their stereos installed. Today was a full docket, which I assume this time of the year everyone's putting in new radios. They've been waiting to update the radio. This one we just got done doing. They just wanted Bluetooth. That's it. Bluetooth and a CD player that worked. That's it. So they got a Bluetooth. Look, CDs. Who remembers what these are? It's almost like an archaeology dig. Look at that.
Whoa.
You okay?
Whoa, yes.
Get stuck in the bathroom? Oh, yeah. Yeah, those butt wipes. Got some butt wipes in. Hot damn. So that's, today's just been radios. Started out the day with a Jeep and a backup camera. Not exactly all that excited because it was like, we're trying to film right now as much stuff as we can. And it was like Jeep and a backup camera. Yay.
The backup camera, that's right.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I know, right? It seems like days ago. It's been a really long day. Yesterday was definitely long, too. Do you guys charge by the hour, by the job? We charge by the job. It's kind of like a joint thing, like on the bigger jobs that we know are going to take 2 days. Then the job rolls into that price. So there's kind of like two things that happen there. You all right?
The alcohol.
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay. So there's two, yeah, that's how that works out. Hold on, let's see what you got here. Alright, well, cool. Nothing so far, good. But, anyways, how's everybody out there doing? So is the alcohol is it too much?
Yeah, it's too much.
A little too much?
A little too much.
Alright, I figured as much. Hello, really nice, so much. Oh, thank you. What do you guys use to keep the amps lifted off the amp racks so you can... So a couple different things. One of our most popular things, believe it or not, hang on. Let me get them here off the shelf, are these. So these are our number one go-to, and as you can see, we got a couple of them. These are the 4 to 8 gauge adapters that come in fuse holders. So when we pull out to put in a 4 gauge wire, we just save them and throw them in here. And we use these as amplifier spacers. So as you can see, we got quite a few of them. We don't have to really worry about them. Also, if we need to, we'll just cut, like here, we'll just cut a piece of plastic and, make risers that way out of 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, whatever we need. What's up, Shaughnessy?
Nice.
Yeah, I know, right?
Nice.
Here we go. I have a question. I can't get rid of my static in my door speakers.
You can get what?
Can't get rid of his static in his door speakers. So a couple things you'd want to find out is what is actually causing the static into the door speakers. Meaning, is it a bad RCA? Is it the source unit? What is it coming
noise,
from?
Or it's actually engine noise.
Is gain too high?
Yeah.
Good place to... If it's just coming off of a radio and you have static, is it a premium sound system? So like if it's a premium sound system, you might just need some noise filters. What is it? The SNI ones. Like for example, on some of the GM stuff going into Bose, you get noise, and SNI one will fix that. Nissan, same way. If it is... So there's a lot of things it can be.
A lot of things.
A lot of things. Hey, Dean Fernando, hello from Long Island, New York. Ooh, ground zero, man. That's tough. Be safe there. Hey, from New York. Is it okay to leave the high-pass filter off from my head unit? Yeah. Is it on the amplifier? Do you need the high-pass filter? That's kind of more the question.
Right.
So let's say an amp has a high-pass filter and the radio has a high-pass filter. Typically, you want to pick one. The one in the radio is a little bit easier to use because it's like numbered. You can just tell it you want it to be this specific frequency.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you're more comfortable with using the one on the amplifier, use the one on the amplifier. Pick one and run it. If you need a high-pass crossover.
Right.
Best Hertz series, more into audio and beats, not into bass. Why go Hertz? Why not go Artisan? Like the Voce. The Voce is more of the wine and cheese line, as but if you're looking for the higher end Hertz, that's going to be the Legends, the Millie Legends. Those are going to be that, but you may want to look into the Voce. Same company, just, different thought process. Hate doing that. Any box recommendations for 2018 GMC Sierra running 2JL audio, current box fitment sucks? Yes, check out Frostbite Boxes. You can follow him here on Instagram. That's Frostbite Boxes. Bruce over there, those guys make killer boxes. You can contact them. They'll make you a specific top, so it doesn't color. It doesn't matter whether you have JLs, kickers, Rockfords, whatever. They're great guys. You just call them up on the phone, tell them what you're trying to do, and he CNC cuts everything, so they come out beautiful. If you've never seen one before, we have a 412s Ford box sitting right here. That's this guy. No, it's still here, guys. That's this guy right here. They cut their logo in it, and they do a really spectacular job. But they make a bunch of different boxes for different cars. They have the new Ram box for the new Rams, as well as they just made a box for the old Ram. The camel hump box, I guess is what they guys call it, which is really nice, all fiberglass. But anyways, check that out. Do you know if I can run 2 ohm 400 watt subs on an LC 6100? I read somewhere it's a 4 ohm load, but can't find the answer for sure. So on the LC 6100, it is 4 ohm mono and 2 ohm stereo. Okay, so if you're just going to run one on channels 5 and 6, it has to be 4 ohm. It cannot be 2 ohm. Can you give me your best sub setup for a Ram 2015 underneath the rear seat? Like I said, Frostbite box. You can get some L712s. Pretty nice there. Get some L712Ts. That's what I meant to say. Get the 12Ts, get the box, go up underneath the seat. Tons of serious bass. And they have a new box that just came out with a ported version of the box, so it's even louder, and it tucks up underneath the seat. If you want crazy and you're willing to raise the seat, check out, of course, Fox Box. Those guys, 210s, big box, or 212s. I don't remember what it is. It's a huge box. Yeah. If you want something more underneath the seat, check out, Frostbite. Is there an aftermarket with a 4-channel? It's an aftermarket with a 4-channel amp. Oh, so we're talking about the staticky sound. A lot of the times what you can do is just plug your phone in the amplifier, get like RCAs to aux jack, plug it in, and see if the sound carries through. That way you can figure out if it's the amplifier or if it's the source unit. That would be a good place to start.
Oh my God, I like his name. All the way in the bottom, all the way.
Oh my gosh.
His name is pretty cool.
Which one?
Let me see. That one. I love that.
Oh, that is a good one. On a Kia Telluride, on a Kia Telluride that has a factory amplifier, should I tap into the sub channel with an LC2i? Yes, you should. That would be the best place to start.
Exactly.
If you're adding a sub.
Knows. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's him. I'm gonna go back here. Hello from the Dominican Republic. All right.
What's up?
Would love to discuss some options in my Explorer ST. Can I keep the 900 watt Bang & Olufsen 14 speaker system and clean up the sound with a DSP, or do I need to add amps and speakers in addition to that DSP? There's nothing to clean up, okay? The speakers suck and the amp sucks, so there's nothing really to fix other than to start over. You can keep your factory head unit, and that's kind of where it ends. From there, you're going to go into the Zen A to B, which is going to allow you to then add in amplifiers and new speakers. If you want to add DSP or an amplifier or anything like that, you can't loop through to the factory amplifier. That's not possible. It's already actually DSP'd. That's what the B&O is. As far as the speakers go, there's nothing special about the speakers. They're the same crappy speakers that come in all the cars. You're getting the amplifier with that BO tune. So it's all got to go bye-bye. But it's just what it is. Kind of sucks. And the radio is actually in the rear of the car. It's not up front. So fun. It's a 2-piece unit. Never a dull moment in the world of Ford. What type of wire do you use to extend wire like for relays and alarms? There again, when it comes to wire, we always use Stinger. As far as you guys may have seen, this is our rainbow of wire. They make every color they make, we buy. This is the product here. This is the gray. This is the roll. That's why that roll is empty. This one we ran out of. As you can imagine, we use tons of gray, white, green, and purple. And then they make big rolls of blue, black, and red. I wish they made a big roll of yellow, but apparently they're not that cool. So, but yeah, that's all the wire. Yeah. That's what we use. It's a lot of fun. You guys are awesome. Thanks for the video. Oh, you bet, man. No problem.
Canada,
Why do you keep getting voice coil smell? Why do I keep getting voice coil smell on my sub? Probably because you're being mean to your subwoofer. Maybe dial it back just a bit.
Yeah.
It's usually you're cooking the woofer. You're sending either too much power or you're clipping the amplifier, which is then sending something the subwoofer doesn't want to see. That's usually it. Because, like, if you get a brand new woofer right out of the box, it may smell for a couple days.
Yeah.
Just, breaking it in and all that. But if it continues to smell, that's called borrowed time.
Yeah, you gotta turn it down.
Yeah, you gotta turn that down. When you smell it, it's time to turn it down. You guys are masters. Wish you were here in India. Well, Paul's from there. I mean,
Do you do alarms, remote stars? I can recall a video of that.
And you've never seen a video of that.
And you probably will never see a video.
You probably will never see a video of that. One of the reasons why we don't, for one, we don't do a ton of alarms. I mean...
It's not like we don't do alarms.
We just don't do a lot of them. But the main problem behind doing alarms is you have to have access to a database that gives you the wiring and the support, and they are not shared publicly. Mm-hmm. All the information we try to give to you, we give to you in a way that you can either A, figure it out for yourself, we can show you where to get it, or, it's something that you can do whether you own a shop or you're an FYI guy or something like that. All the information we try to give you access to is that way. Alarms are not that way. They are they protect their intellectual property, which is the information that they share with the dealer as part of the agreement you get when you become a dealer. So we can't share that information with you. And to me, that would just make for a crappy video if I'm over here just telling you how to tap wires. So that's why we don't bother with that. Is there a factory system that you guys like?
I don't know, man.
I'm thinking.
Like... Remember the Audi that we did?
No, it still sucked.
It
still sucked. No, it still sucked. Everyone said it was great. It sucked. What is great about it?
For you.
I mean, it still sucked.
No, I mean, like...
listen, if you've never heard anything better, then, yeah, sure.
Okay, but if you don't want to upgrade it and you're fine, that's the reason why a lot of people don't upgrade their cars.
I mean, if that's the case, my Boston acoustic stereo and the Camaro that's been in there forever, I mean, I just, whatever. It sounds like it sucks. But a lot of people are happy with it.
Exactly.
I mean, it just comes down to what you know. I'm going to plead the Eddie Murphy cracker joke. If you guys haven't heard Eddie Murphy talk about a cracker, that's exactly what this is. And by cracker, I mean an actual, cracker, not a white guy. If you've never heard anything better, then...
Right.
Of course, it's great. Now, if someone's trying to sit there and tell you, dude, this is a premium. This is the gold standard of factory audio systems. And it sounds like Dookie... Well, okay, cool. I mean, if that's the best you can do, good on you. But I will definitely be pulling that crap out, putting in something better. But a lot of guys, I mean, think about it. Why do you think all the, Bose created this factory phenomenon for the car manufacturers? Mm-hmm. That's why now it's like Sony, Bang & Olufsen, Mark Levinson, Brewmeister, all these companies that are just trying to get into these OE systems and be like, oh, put our name on it because we're something special. It's like, whatever, dude. Garbage, all of it. Put my Beats by Dre in. It means it's going to sound like crappy headphones.
Hey, Siri. How's the weather like today? Oh.
What are you doing? Tell her right again. It has speakers. Oh yeah, it has speakers. It has speakers on tweeters on each door. Should I put components in front and coaxials rear, or coaxials in all 4 doors? I would stick to components up front and coaxials in the rear. Specifically, or if the tweeter, yes, in the rear, just you can get away with coaxials, but components up front, always components up front. Thank you. Appreciate the answer. No problem. What box of sub do you recommend for 2017 crew cab Silverado for loud punch? Well, it depends on whether you have a high transmission hump or a low transmission hump. When it comes to loud boxes, not pretty boxes, we always first place we're going to stop is Fox Box, because Fox Box will allow you to put a bigger box or a bigger subwoofer into the box, usually like standard 10s. So I would check there first and see what they offer. If you want a pretty box, we go to Frostbite boxes. If we want a loud box covered in rhino liner and just, like utilitarian, we go to Fox Box. Yeah. So and they both start with F, as in like my world isn't painful enough. All right, hold on. Let's just speed it up here.
Wow.
What'd you guys do today? Well, Victor, we started out the day with a Jeep and a backup camera. We moved on to something else that we filmed, and we moved on to something else after that, and then we ended it with this Mercury, where we put a radio in it. Now, as far as why, I honestly don't remember, because there was a Silverado somewhere in there with 4 speakers, and I had to laser out some rear speaker brackets. See, it all starts to come back. Most of the time, we just forget. I'm not going to lie. Bahamas. Yeah.
Shaughnessy.
What about him?
No, Shaughnessy used right there.
VW Fender is one of the better OEM systems. Really? Man. Okay. That thing sounded horrible. The one that we upgraded? That thing sounded so bad. It was in a Jetta. It was just so bad. I mean, the Fender and the Jetta. The one that we put the 1005 in on the front and added the Millie Pros to, and the sub in the back, because we got in there and he was like, dude, this is so bad. I don't know. To me, that one was terrible, and the customer thought it was too, so that went bye-bye. How's a stock Raptor stereo? There again, if it's what if you get in there and you sit down and you like the way it sounds, rock on. Yeah. If you feel like it's missing something, then kind of journey out and go, is there something better? And then be prepared to really spend a lot of money. Because here's the problem as I see it, and this is always the case. When the guy comes in that has the branded stereo system, so branded, we mean it has the cool logo on it. When you come in with a branded stereo system, all right, you're already here, meaning you have an amplifier, you have a tune, there's a bunch of stuff going on. Sometimes there is a better speaker, like JBL will put better speakers in the car. It's not just some generic Ford, Older Fords used to put better speakers in there, but Infinitis and Lexuses, they put better. And sometimes you are getting a better speaker along with all this other stuff. And you're paying for it from the factory. So that upgrade in amplifier is a couple $1,000. So now you come in and you're like, dude, this thing sounds terrible. I want it to sound better. And you're like, okay. Bam. And you're like, oh my God, I don't want to spend that much. And you're like, well, it's not like there's a $100 fix. It's not like you bought this Sable right here that has the generic 4-speaker system in it, which I could literally put $200 worth of speakers in it and make it sound like $1 million. I can't do that in those cars because there's a bunch of other stuff going on. So, yes, is a premium sound system suck? Sometimes. Is it easier to upgrade? Yeah. Because, you have Amp Pros and you have ARs and you have Zens that allow us to just plug in and get an awesome preamp section. But they also come at a more premium installation. I mean, you're going to spend a lot more money to have that awesome sound. So, the factory update is crap. Okay, Victor, you said it, not me. Hello from California. What better Rockford, T1005 or audio control LC? Well, they're not even the same thing. I mean, a T1005 is a 5-channel amp. However, if we're looking at the LC 4.800 and then pairing that up with a sub-amplifier, I would much rather have the LC 4.800. It has way more power. Personally, if I'm going to go T's, so I'll answer it like this. If I'm going to go T-class Rockfords, I'm buying a 404 and a 750.1. Though on paper they look very similar, and actual practice they're totally different. That's the difference between talking about car audio and doing car audio. We do car audio, we don't just talk about car audio. So when we say something, it's because we've actually done it, I don't know, 3, 4, 10, 15 times, as opposed to just magically going, hey, guess what? When I do something, this is what I like to do. Really? How many have you actually done? Okay, sorry, I went somewhere dark. Anyways, so going back to like the LC 4800, my favorite combination there, obviously it's a bit more power than the Rockford. It's also physically bigger, so you have to have more room. But the LC 4800 with the LC 1800, there again, those two combinations, I love them to pieces. Different applications. So like you were talking about the Chevy 2017 Chevy, if I don't want to have to bury amplifiers behind the seat and do all kinds, we go with the Rockford T-Series amplifiers because they'll fit up underneath at the base of the seat with no issues. We get tons of power. It sounds great. The audio controls, it's going to be like shoehorning them things in. So, different strokes for different folks, different applications. I bought my truck knowing that I'm going to do... well, of course you did, Brian. I mean, everything you've owned, you've upgraded. So, I mean, it's not like that was a shocker. Okay. I have an 09 Mazda 6 V6 GT, and I want to know if making fiberglass boxes for each side wall in the trunk and fit 212s would be a good idea. I need my trunk space. That's why I'm asking. Yes. However, you may want to go down to 10s just because of the internal box volume. But there again, it depends. Like if you look at something, like Focal. There again, these are expensive. Focal makes their shallow flax woofers. Rockford has the T1s, which are really nice. And then they're again really nice. You have the L7Ts, which are smaller 12s. They work in smaller airspace. Then 12s might be good. However, you may be able to go down to a 10 and get a full size 10 in there and actually get better results. Now I know like the Hertz Milli subwoofer works in a really small seal box. It sounds freaking amazing. So make sure you check that out. But yeah, totally do that. Just make them really rigid. The more rigid you make them, the better they will sound. I wish you do something classic like a Camaro from the 70s. Oh, God, I hate the smell of old cars. I went with 2 DS18 subs. Not too impressed. Do you have any experience with them? No, I don't. We've only seen them today. Actually, they were doing a training on subwoofer, but we opted to do a different training. Right now, a lot of the manufacturers are doing webinars because everyone is kind of trapped at home, as you guys know. So they're doing webinars, and we ended up watching an Orca one, which was Moscone, as opposed to watching the DS18 one, which was on subwoofers. I wanted to, but there's only so many hours in the day and only so many webinars I can handle before my brain explodes. The worst OEM system, JBL system on the Toyota Tundras. Not going to argue with that. I would totally agree with that. And even if it's not that JBL system, that factory one, non-JBL, sucks just as bad. Oh, what a piece of yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. I hide behind you when I say it. Oh. Any updates on Kicker? As far as like new products, that we already know what new products are coming out. So we know we're going to have the Key 501, which we just shot the video on. We've talked about the Key Lock, which they're doing a software update on. So hopefully in the next, either this week or next week, we'll get an updated version of that. And I still don't know when those are going to start to ship. I think the 501s are going to start shipping the end of this week. So that'll hit the road. That'll be out. We'll have our video for that up hopefully this week, so that we can kind of time the two together. As far as the new KS series speakers, I think those are just going to start trickling out. There was talks of the 4-inch coming out here, the one for the Jeep coming out sooner rather than later, but that's about all we know so far. I like the HK system in the Mercedes. Oh, the Mercedes sucks. Yeah, okay, no. Easy, Tiger King. She did it. She killed her husband. What do you got?
All right. He said Infinity Kappas, all 4 doors and a dash. With the Punch 404, it's a good combo. The 404 is good. The Punch.
Yeah, just make sure you do the 2 ohm. Make sure you don't do the 2 ohm. Make sure you stick with the 4 ohm, especially up front, because if you're going to be doing, multiple 4-ohm drivers, that's going to get you to that 2-ohm load. If you go the 2-ohm drivers, you can only put 4 speakers on that amplifier, and then that's it. It's going to tap out.
Do you guys respond to emails through your site?
We do not. That's strictly Paul. So if you email something, or if you email us on like YouTube, sometimes I get hundreds of those a day. So
if you have any questions about audio, we do live shows Monday and Saturday. So you can go Monday and Saturday, type your question, and you're probably gonna get the answer better than just send an email.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of people want to get in depth and have a conversation back and forth and all that. Really, it just comes down to time. We just don't have a lot of it. Guys, can you use VSS to control volume according to speed? You could, but there's no radio that actually has a VSS input for that specific feature. That's more the problem. That's actually what it would be a great use for. Right now, no, because like even with an RR2 that can read VSS, it won't control the volume. Will that change one day? Maybe, because that's one of those features that a lot of people like that the factory has. As they speed up, the system gets louder. Personally, it drove me crazy. I turned it off, but each one's a little bit different.
Have you ever done a 2009 Cadillac DTS? I would love to upgrade my system. The factory speakers are 5 1/4. And I would love to use my Rockford T2 6.5s. How can I change them out?
I'm trying to think. First thing you need to do is find out what kind of signal you're going to get out of the head unit. It's a DTS though. I wonder if Metro makes a kit for that. I'd have to check. The first thing I'd do, like off the top of my head, I don't know the car specifically. I would go over to metroonline.com and see if they make a dash kit for the car. If they make a dash kit for the car, that's a great place to start. If they don't make a dash kit for the car, then I would check to see other things that are available for it, meaning what kind of DSP can I get into the car? Is there any form of amp pro? Is there does the DSP AX that they make work in that car? That type of information is what I'd want to find out first, because we're not going to be keeping the factory amplifiers or anything like that, because they're not going to work with the aftermarket speakers. So those have to go. Once we get that power, then we can do anything we want. But it's like we need to get that first step, which is the source unit squared away, and from there we can go and go nuts.
Go nuts.
Go
What's
nuts.
Up, Johnny?
He does not respond. Paul, yeah, probably not. He's a putz.
Okay.
I don't know. He's always busy. I'm always busy. Or he goes, "Hey, can you look at this?" No, I can't. Hey, American Sound, what's up? Kicker ZX 705 5-channel amp. Are you familiar with this amp, and what's your opinion on the performance? If you know, personally, I was talking to a guy last weekend, and he found an amazing price on the Q Class 1005. Because that is an amplifier that is open market per se, meaning you can find it at pretty decent prices. I would start there first before I went into the 1000 or the 705. 705 is a great amplifier, there's no question about it. But getting the DSP that comes on the Q class, you might be able to find one for $100 or $2 more. Way worth it. So I would start there. But if you're stuck on the ZX 705, yeah, it's a smaller amplifier. But it's good. It's got the cool bass knob. It's got all that. We're boring the shit out of Fernando, as you can tell.
Oh, my God, man. 2014 Toyota Avalon Hybrid. What I need to replace the OEM radio and keep all the car functions.
That's going to be AR. So, I'm sorry, RR. So, you're going to want to go over to idatalink.com/maestro and see if they make a Maestro module for that car. If they do, then you're going to want to make sure you get a radio that's Maestro compliant. The easiest way to do that and the most up-to-date version of Maestros are always available on Kenwood, but that's not to say you can't get a Pioneer or a Sony, but Kenwood is really the way to go. But that's where you're going to want to start. Wake up, Fernando.
I'm trying to.
Will it power up the Kicker L7, the 1005 amp you message? It's like one L7, yes. It's more power than the 700.5. It's a 1000.5. It's 300 watts more power. That's what those, yeah.
Can you turn the subsonic filter on the D6 1200?
Can you turn it on?
Can you turn it off?
Can you turn it off? No. It stays on.
Off.
Oh yeah, you select 0. You just select 0 dB on your crossover slope. So when you're in the crossover setup, it has 12 and 24 dB. No, you can't, because that's right. You can't select 0.
You can select 0.
You can't, can you? No, so you'd have to put it at 12. But if you put it down to 20 hertz, I mean, 20 hertz at 12 dB, that's like non-existent. There's nothing there.
Are you guys staying busy with all this quarantine going on? We do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
It's
have a busy day today.
we've been planning all these extracurricular activities, and last week we hit a bunch of them, and this week we haven't gotten any of them. Granted, it's only Tuesday.
Yeah.
But we're still and thankfully, but we're just kind of playing it by ear. We'll see how things go. We're lining up all our extra stuff that we need to get done, and just trying to get through it all.
Sprinkles with
Salsa,
salsa.
or I like to call it hot sauce.
It's salsa.
Yeah, whatever. That debate we will never win. What's your opinion on a 3-way setup? If you got the room for it, definitely do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of funky little eyeballs, on my A-pillars, but, whatever. Different strokes. It's all good. You guys stay safe. Update your supplies. We are on lockdown here, and it sucks. Oh, totally agree. That totally
Just
sucks.
stay safe. Sorry.
It is getting harder and harder to find, supplies, like rubbing alcohol and stuff like that. You got to be
rubbing alcohol is because we had to clean the cars.
Yeah, that's what we're cleaning all the cars with, as opposed to Clorox, because that's probably not the smartest thing to do. But yeah, and then you got to be careful because you don't want to go too hot on the alcohol, which apparently we just tried these new wipes.
Yeah.
And went a little too hot. Apparently they're a little too hot, so
a little bit.
That's not going to work.
You gotta be careful.
You don't want to color the interior of the car. You just want to kill a disease. All right, what are your go-to brands, stereos, and speakers? Man, the list is long. It's yeah.
It's it's really long.
Yeah, when it comes to radios, right now Kenwood is kind of winning it for me, but
the radio, yeah, I agree.
I'm going to buy an Alpine Halo 9 to replace the head unit in my car, but I want to keep all my controls, like steering wheel controls, etc. What should I buy to keep the controls? Depending on the car you have, everyone makes an adapter. If it requires a smart harness, they're all there. There again, if you're into user interfaces and neat stuff like that, you can go to idatalink.com/maestro and see if they make the interface for your car. Everything is a web-based, well, it's not. It's actually an app-based, Mac or PC. You can download it. You can program it, everything. It's really nice. We've done a bunch of videos on it. It's super cool, and it is compatible with the 309. Mm-hmm. The 259 it is not compatible with. At that case, you're going to look at the pack-audio.com product or the Metra Online. Both of those will have the ability to add and keep your steering wheel controls. The Pack products will be an all-in-one, so you're going to get like an RP4 version or an RP5, and those will allow you to retain your steering wheel controls. How do you guys set gains on mono amps with an epicenter? Wow, really? That's a crazy one. Very carefully. I mean, the process isn't that bad. The only difference is instead of doing like negative 10 dBs of overlap, we can just cut it to 5 because we know we're going to push the hell out of it with that epicenter. So,
JL. All right, so he's like Foucault Utopia 10-inch sub or JL W7 10-inch.
So let me preface that.
Wow.
Okay, but years ago when I was building my home audio system, we were a Macintosh dealer, meaning we sold Macintosh speakers. And the speakers, specifically the subwoofers, were the same subwoofers you could get in the Macintosh towers. Now, in my living room, I had 2 Cobalt 10s and a bandpass. All right, I'm sorry, 2 Cobalt 12s and bandpasses. They're huge. They put out tons of bass. They shake my house. It's phenomenal. Well, there was a killer deal on these Macintosh 10-inch drivers. And I was like, dang, these are Macintosh drivers, man. I mean, they're stupid expensive, and they were dirt cheap. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy them. I'm going to build a cool ported box. And these things are going to hammer because they're Macintosh and they're going to be badass. I'm going to put them in my room. And they're just going to be like, yeah. built the box. Meanwhile, JJ, the owner of the place, like, you know that these aren't going to sound that good, right? You're going to totally be disappointed, and I'll be buying these from you tomorrow. And I was like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about, man. These are going to destroy my 212s in a bandpass. Well, needless to say, he was right. The next day, he was buying back my 2 Macintosh woofers at an incredible price for him, and we sold them much later and put them in somebody else's car. The moral to the story was sometimes loud is just loud. It doesn't matter whose brand is on it. It doesn't matter if it's the coolest $1,000 woofer there ever was. Big surrounds, big heavy magnets are going to win out every time. Brings us to this question about Utopia versus W7. A W7 is a loud freaking woofer that moves a shit ton of air. Utopia 10-inch doesn't have the same characteristics. A lot of people like to say compare apples with apples and oranges with oranges. Well, this is like a watermelon and an apple. 2 totally different people are going to be looking at these 2 products. Not that the W7 isn't good for sound quality. It has been brought up to me many times by Jeff Smith. It is, and it'll do it, but it'll also knock the back of your head off. Not saying that the 10-inch Utopia can't do that, but not as well as the W7. It just comes down to what you're trying to do.
But what do you think about the audio control ACM 4.300 for the 2020 Silverado with the DSR1? What door speakers do you recommend?
Well, with that amount of power, 2020 Silverado?
2020 Silverado.
Excellence. The Excellence 6x9 components. With the 2.5 inch or the 3 inch.
Mm-hmm.
Go with those. That amount of power. Those things are super efficient. That would sound awesome. DSR1 in there? Yeah.
DSR1.
Yeah. If you're a Rockford fan, since you're going with the DSR1, a lot of people like to match things. There again, the T404 would work. They also have the PBR 404. The audio control is very nice and very sweet. But why not go with the D6-1200? I mean, maybe space. I could see space as a reason. Yeah, we've done that car. There's not a lot of room, so space. But the Kenwood Exelons would work great on that amount of power off of that amplifier. You can get into, I think, the 3-way. The 3.5 with the 6x9 would fit. Sound really nice.
All right. When you use the Tech Flex and wrap the speaker wires, do you wrap the whole wires or each individual speaker? We use
it depends
steel wire.
Well, it depends what we're doing, really.
Right.
So, I mean, it just depends what we're doing and where it's at. And the Tech Flex that you guys see a lot of time, like the colored stuff, isn't Tech Flex. It's actually shrink wrap. So, like when you've seen the amp boards that have like the green, purple, gray, and white coming off them, that's actually like 18 inches of shrink wrap that then the wires go together into the flex tube.
Right. And
then that whole bundle of flex tube heads forward up behind the dash.
Mm-hmm.
So all our wires are insulated 100%, meaning whether it's tape, whether it's Tech Flex, whether it's shrink wrap, it doesn't matter. There's an extra layer of covering over everything we do, just like from the factory, to protect the wire, not to make it look cool. Looking cool is a side effect, there's no doubt about it. However, protection of the wires we're running is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Is 120 hertz crossover setting too high for a low-pass filter? Depends on the size of the subwoofer and what you're trying to get out of it and the volume that it's playing at. But I would say yes. Try somewhere between 70 and 80 hertz. You might need more mid-bass in your car. V3 worth keeping, or should I sell them and have them brand new, never installed? I mean, it's not like they're bad. I mean, it just comes down to whether you got to have the latest, greatest, cool stuff. If you're that guy, then yeah. Otherwise, no, keep them. Have you guys tried sound skin dampening? Any thoughts? No, we haven't. I mean, we do really well with roadkill, so no, we haven't. However, we do have a bunch of this stuff, which I can't wait to get my hands on. This is the Ground Zero stuff. They make this cool door kit that comes with it's a whole big door kit that comes with tons of stuff. So when we get to do the Ground Zero car, we're going to be playing with that. I'm actually looking forward to that because it's a change up from just doing the same old stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, let's hit this. Let's get. We got a good one here. You got one you want me to answer, and then we'll. Utopia are a bit more music friendly. Exelon seems to be a universal answer. Fairly enough, it is a universal answer. So the thing to keep in mind about the Exelon, whether it's the radio speakers, amps, subs, it's very price friendly. It's readily available. A lot of places have it. It's a quality product. It has a 2-year warranty. I mean, I could go on. And they sound good. So yeah, it ticks all the right boxes to make it make sense for a lot of people's applications. Part of recommending something is knowing that if I recommend something that I'm standing behind it going, yeah, we've done this, we know it works, and we're happy with it. I really can't recommend something that we've never used or have experience with, or we've only used it a few times. We use them all the time, we know they work good, and we know there's good value there. And that's why we recommend them. That's it. That's the only reason why. There are better things, I'm sure, but you just have to, we have to play on that field. What's next on Fernando's car? Radio.
Yeah.
Radio's got to get in. We got that. The GS9 is just waiting to go in.
Yeah. That's it.
Carol Bassett. Yep, that's her. She did it. She did it for sure.
She did it.
All right, guys, thank you so much for spending your afternoon, late evening, whatever this is with us. We're going to hit the road. We got to get going at 6:30-ish, late past. We can go. We're free. We've been paroled. We can head out for the day. So thank you so much. I'm a porta fan, not a sealed. Totally understand.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to get a porta box.
Really?
Yep, I talked to him. I got to email him. All right. You guys have a wonderful day as always, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Look at him on a mission. He's so purposeful. Dude, you need a haircut.
Yeah, I gotta call my barber, see if he can do a haircut for me.
Onesies? Sue was doing a onesie today. Yeah, meaning like her and the barber, and that's it. Or the hair salonist, whatever they call the women's version of a barber.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, it was just her and that. So what's up, everybody? What's up, Fernando?
What's up?
What you doing?
Just...
Working on the dash of a Corvette. Getting that accessory wire.
Getting this accessory wire.
Yeah, I know, right? What made this radio so unique that there was no accessory wire in it? It's so bizarre how GM did that. Way to go, classic GM. Yay. Now, this is the one that Metro makes the cool double din dash kit for now. And they actually have a smart harness now that will get you that accessory back, so you don't have to do what we're doing, which is go over here and tap into the key. But fortunately for us, look at those giant, look at them giant 12-gauge wires, man. That's old school right there, baby. Yeah, they don't build them like that anymore. Now they're all dental floss. So we're actually doing a single din in this, so there was no reason to get the crazy harness. Plus, the Bose is gone. And if you'll notice, somewhere around here, I think over there, there's a camera. There's a bunch of cameras all over the place because it's a Corvette, and who doesn't want to film a Corvette and see what goes on in the secret life of a Corvette? Is your right index fingernail look like you tore it? Yes. So, which finger? Hold on. It is this one here. This is the result of a roundover bit on a router doing something I should never have done in the first place, and it pulverized the tip of my finger. I still have the router too, and the bit I think is still in it. It was years ago. Where is it? It's one of those guys, one of these guys up here, my original router from when I was back in high school. I was not practicing proper shop safety. This was probably, let's see, how old is Haley? She's 20. This was probably 16 years ago? Maybe 15 years ago. No, come on. Table saw is this one. So if you'll notice, that's not perfectly straight. Yep, that was the table saw. So cut the, yeah. So, in a former life, I did a lot of fabricating, and in so doing wasn't always, I was younger, man, and bulletproof, you know how that goes. So probably wasn't as smart as I should have been. Oh my God, routers are very, very dangerous. You're lucky you saved your finger. Oh no, I tell you what, one day we'll tell you that I'll go through the whole story there on the doctor and the router and the nuts, the whole craziness to that. But we don't want to bother everyone with that today because there's enough like stupid. Well, actually, it might be funny. Johnny, Wiley, Texas, loud and clear in the house. Give him a call. Hey, Jeff, we just talked. Yeah, it was really stupid though, and I can tell you this: when you're in shock, which apparently I was. You can actually see in black and white. Like, you lose all color. It's not like you just go pale. It was crazy. Where are the masks? He's 6 feet away. I remember, noticed it till thought it was recent. No, it's been there for a while. In the cold, it really, really, really hurts. But fortunately, we moved to Florida to solve that problem. At least you get to do what you love. Most days. Actually, once I get out of here, then I'll get to go do what I really love, which is go for a run. Right?
That's right.
Yep. So that'll be tonight. That'll be actually in almost 15-20 minutes. So that'll be cool. I have a 2012 Silverado, and I use the cheap GM 29 and a Soundstream stereo without any amps. I have some engine noise. Did it go into Bose? That would be the only question I'd ask. Did it go into Bose? If it went into Bose, that's why you have the engine noise. Two, what are they? LC. Hold on. SNI ones. There we go. Two SNI ones will fix that problem if it has the Bose system. If it doesn't have the Bose system and you're getting engine noise, sadly, that's coming from your head unit, the Soundstream, and not anything else. The LCGM 29 is the most basic of the interfaces, and it does not do anything for the audio. It is only there to create the accessory turn on and will not affect anything downstream. Do the L7Q class still have SQ in a ported box? I guess. I mean, it's a subwoofer. I'm never really. I don't know. We've just always gone, we buy the factory box and it just like goes crazy. I've never really listened to see, most people buying it just want it to bang hard. I would assume it would, but I don't really have a concrete answer for that one. Braking work, the safety protocol always comes with funny stories. Yeah, and this one is funny too because the doctor was just lacking of personality for sure. And the plastic surgeon was hilarious. What car is that? This is a Corvette. This is a 99 Corvette. Is this a 99? I think. I mean, you had your head next to the year. Didn't you notice the big embroidered year under the hood?
Where? No.
Above the battery on the hood, there was a big embroidered red year of the car.
No. 99.
I think it's a 99. So we got a 99 Corvette. We're doing a little system upgrade in.
That's what it is for.
I don't know. I'm guessing in case they ever forget, they can just pop the hood. Dean, when an amp doesn't have defeatable crossovers and you're using a DSP, is there a trick to defeat the crossovers or use the DSP ones? Turn the factory ones the opposite direction, meaning turn them up. So if you're using it for mid-range, turn them as far as they will go. So like if you're using them for mid-range, put them all the way up to like say 50. If you're using them for subwoofer, turn it all the way up to like 250, whatever their extreme opposites will be. That way they're far enough down line to where they're not going to affect anything going on in the DSP. But yes, use the DSP. It's a much better crossover. Johnny, he is doing he sounds like Aaron. He's doing 2 1005s, 2 402s, and a Jeep. Wow, doing 2 pairs of Rockford 8-inch Marines, 4 super tweeters, a pair of 6.5s in the doors, components. Wow, that sounds like a full-on DS18 style loud Jeep. Way to go, man. You guys in Texas build them big. What's up, guys from Chicago? Hey, Anthony, what's happening, man, over there in California? Anthony's Car Stereo Live. Check it out on YouTube. What's up, guy? Okay. Follow Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. Thank you. Did we agree it was Ibrahim? Damn.
What is the next name?
It's the one. It's him.
Yeah, but like
his last name?
Uh-huh.
McBell.
Mike Bell.
Mike Bell.
Yeah, let's call him Mike Bell.
Mike. Either way, thanks. Yes, go follow Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips on YouTube. It's a great place to get little bite-sized, edible portions of information to make you that much more smarter in your car stereo endeavors. Johnny, what's up, buddy? Oh yeah, and 2T1. Jesus, man, good for you. Way to get some work. All old joke. The number of missing fingers displays rank of coworkers. Don't be a high-ranking worker. I know, right? Yeah. I was planning on being a hand model, and that all went to crap. Ever made a custom sub box for a Ford Escape 2013 Plus? I'm gonna go with no. But, Fernando is shoulder deep in that gap.
What's up?
Johnny said Fernando is shoulder deep in that gap. Oh yeah, that's why he's doing it, because he's smaller and can get into there. These are no fun to work on. Nice. What are you guys putting in it? We're putting in a bunch of Kenwood stuff. So this guy straight up pimped out old school Corvette. He's always had the Bose stuff in it. He drives it now more than he has. He decided, you know what, I'm just going to drive this thing and have some fun. And the stereo sucks, so he wanted a nice, clean, basic stereo. And you guys will learn all about it, of course, at some point, because we filmed it. Is it a little red Corvette? Ooh, no, it's a little grayish colored Corvette. Apparently needs a vaccine of some kind. So, have you used the LC2i in a Silverado with 8-inch screen and no Bose system? No. No, because no. For those, typically when we're doing the install on those, if we're going to do a full-on system, we're going to still use the LCGM61 because it'll work in the non-Bose if you flip dip switch 3. But if we're just doing a subwoofer in that, typically what we're using is either the T750.1 or the T500.1 that has the punch bass. It's no fix for bass roll-off, but it still adds a nice deep bass sound to it, and the high level to low level built into it is good enough for adding a subwoofer. And plus that's as big. Now, yeah. Hey Dean, could you make me plastic piece to go under the 25? The screws won't bang the battery. I don't know. Oh, that piece. Oh, the piece of plastic. Maybe. You got it, DS18 soundbar. I knew it, right? Yeah, totally, for sure. Do you guys have some installation for a 2020 Ram quad cab? So we have a 2019 Ram that we just got done filming a week or so ago that's going to be up here in the next week or so. Is it a quad cab? No, it's a 4-door. It has the reclining rear seats, but it's not a mega cab. Might be the one you're looking for, but yeah, we did it. It had the Harman Kardon system in it. Greetings from Orlando, Florida. Saludos, Fernando.
What's up?
Afternoon, guys. I hear Dean talk about a lot of Kenwood Exelon speakers. I'm doing a Kenwood Exelon speakers, and Hertz. Oh, Centos. That'd be nice. I like the Centos. Centos are cool. But yeah, no, Kenwood is fun. This is actually a full Kenwood system going in here, except for the subwoofer. We're getting the new down-fired kicker Comp RT box with the cool passive radiator. Dean, Robert from New Jersey, I send you a question about a subwoofer on my Lexus. I never got. I'll look for it. It happens. Hey Dean, Fernando, big hi. What's going on? From Nairobi? Oh, wow. Exelon is power. There you go. Hey, Blue Steel. Hand model. Exactly, right? What's a good budget DSP, or do you have a good used for sale? A good budget DSP. Okay, so yes, there are a couple good budget DSPs. You have the DSR1 is probably the best value budget DSP, coming in at like $270. It's going to give you the most features. It does work best on an iPad as far as tuning it goes. It has to use some form of portable device. It will not work on a laptop. Up from that, you're going to look at your sub $500 models. There's a couple that just came out from what is it, Audio Design or AD, that are going to be right around that price point. The only, under $500, there's like 20 different DSPs to choose from. But yeah, I would try to be somewhere in that range. California's good. Lots of rain right now. Oh, that is awesome. That sucks for you guys though, because you can do a lot of work outside. Ugh. Is Fernando enjoying his new car lab toy? Well, that came out as soon as we were done. Like, as soon as we were done with the amplifier, that had to come out because we had more stuff to film. So it didn't stay in there long. It was just enough to shoot the video, play it. I think it came out the next morning. And yeah, so a lot of the times with the lab stuff, it's a lab and it just has to go back to normal. So, and get the next thing back in. Plus, he wanted to put his DSP back in. I have a set of 6-inch components. I have a 6-inch speaker setup, set of 6x9 components, 6.5-inch coaxials. Okay, what amp can run them? What amp can run them while letting them breathe? Okay. Any one of the Kicker 4-channel amps, I would check out the KX Series 4-channel. Or go into the Q class. Whatever works for there. If you want to do something that's uber simple to set up, check out a Kicker Key. Kicker Key will power those and have fun with it. All right, I'm going to scroll down here to the end. Have you guys done any Mustang builds? I'm new to this. We have, but I don't know if we've filmed any of them lately. But yes, if you have the newer Mustang, like 18, 19, not the new one, iData does make a harness so you can plug a DSR1 in, so it makes it kind of nice. Is there a wire harness for a Toyota CHR 2019 to mount an amplifier? Thanks. That's a new one. And so for behind the radio, what we used in the last new Toyota we did is Metra makes a 70 and a 71 harness. So the 71 would go into the back of the radio and the 70 would attach to the factory wiring harness, and you can make your own T-harness. So head over to metraonline.com and there you can pick it up. Thank you so much for giving me the love, Anthony. You can go over there and pick those pieces up. Anthony's Car Stereo Life, YouTube. Check him out. Check him out. Go check him out in the rain right now. Hope you're filming something in the rain, man. That would be cool. Have you tried the new Artisan SR amps? Oh, so I was thinking last night while I was running, because that's what I do. And I was thinking, should we do SR amps in the Nove instead of the Prima?
What is the SR amps?
Those are the new Artisan entry-level amplifiers. So it's like a Prima minus the DSP.
Okay.
I know. They look really cool. And the 5-channel isn't out yet, though. So there's only 3 of the 5 amplifiers available right now, thanks to the way the world is going. So I was like, crap, I really would just do a 5-channel. But I don't know. Maybe a 4-channel on the monoblock. But yeah, no, they look really cool. There's no doubt about it. I want to get my hands on a couple of them and play with them. But it is a Go amp and DSP in one. You save quite a bit like the, yes, you do. If you buy an all-in-one DSP amplifier, you do save a bunch of money. That's why we like the Kicker Q class, the audio controls like you talk about, the Primas. You have the ARC audios with the DSPs built onto them. You have Helix. Oh my God, Helix has so many amplifier DSPs all built in that are super sexy. But yeah, check those out. And for sure, I'm trying to think, who did I miss? Focal, no, they really don't get into that. Moscone doesn't either. But, ARC, yeah, the ones I just said, check those out. You're definitely high-end DSP and amplifier all in one. Save a ton of money. What steps do you do when you're tuning an active system? One speaker at a time, man. One speaker at a time. You always tune for the furthest speaker from the driver, which is usually the pass or mid bass, and you kind of work your way over. It takes a lot of time, and it is a long and drawn-out process. DSPs are like newer versions of old head units. So many to choose from. Each have pros and cons. Definitely. Oh my God, yes. And DSP is one of the conversations we talk about nonstop here. Is like what DSP is good for this, what DSP is good for that. I don't think anybody right now makes the perfect DSP. There are some that are like extremely close and cool, but then not. And yeah, so it's weird. Do you need an LC2I if you have one of the audio control amplifiers? No. All the audio control amplifiers have LCs built into them, whether it's a D or an LC. They all have the same LC2I, LC7I, LC6I. All that stuff is all built into those. So if you go and you buy like the AMC 1.300, you've basically just bought an LC2I with a 300 watt amp built in for like almost no amount of money more. It's kind of funny. All right, hang on. Let's catch back up here. What time is it? Oh, dude, you know what? I think we should stop right here. And it's 6:30. It's time for us to get the heck out of here.
It's 6:30?
Yep, this car will be waiting for us tomorrow, and hopefully so will you guys. Thank you so much for playing. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. We're out. See ya. Good afternoon, ladies and germs. How's everybody doing? Wave, Fernando.
No.
Oh, you should breakdance, man. Do you think you got enough room here?
I don't have room. No.
You don't have enough room?
No.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure you could probably do something. What the heck was that? Dude, that was bad. That was so bad.
What are you talking about? That's good.
What did we just do, man? What were we just doing before we came on here? Do the worm. Exactly. That's what I was thinking. What's up, Mr. William Berg?
I can do the worm, actually.
You could do the worm?
Oh, yeah.
Bismarck, Modesto.
Oh, what's up,
How's it going,
man?
Bismarck? How you been,
Mike.
buddy?
I'm like from Iowa. What's up, man?
Hey, yeah, no doubt. Every time I wear that Bismarck, my Modesto shirt, I always think of Bismarck.
Mr. Thomas. How you doing, man?
Oh, Mr. Thomas Keenan,
Yeah?
checking it out. Hey,
What's up, Jeff?
I wish I had time to read a book right now. Because I like books
not
with
doing
cuss
nothing
words
right
and
now?
titles.
You're not
Those
doing
make
nothing?
things awesome. Actually, we were just doing something. What were we doing?
We just finished. Well, first we just finished the Corvette.
We finished the Corvette.
We finished the Corvette, and then we test the key lock.
Yeah. Let's head in the back so we don't have the buzzing and the TV making noise.
All right, let's go. Hey, make sure you hit. Ooh, you see that?
You're like a little super Mexican. Have a big M on your shirt.
Big M.
Yeah, big M.
Mexican.
Super Mexican.
Okay, I like that.
Able to leap a small chihuahua in a single bound. All right, do some fancy footwork now.
No.
Dude, seriously, man? You'll go crazy in the club in front of a bunch of people you don't know, but all the people you do know, you can't dance in front of
But
them?
this is gonna be what? Dance class?
It could be dance class. So we were just filming over on YouTube. If we did a little live where we had the kicker, this guy,
Key lock.
the key lock. We did a part 2 to this. We're showing the DEQ circuit on it. We had just shown last week. We showed or the week before last, we showed the RTA feature. Sorry, thanks. We showed the RTA feature. Today we showed the EQ feature and how it works. We didn't take you through the process of actually doing the steps.
No.
We just wanted to show you the before and after, kind of like the tease.
But don't worry about it because it's gonna be a video on that. So
What's up, Johnny?
What's up, Johnny?
So last night when I was editing footage for the little piece I put up about Jay, I had to scan through all that footage to find it, and
this is not an amplifier.
that is not an amplifier.
So
Anyways, I saw Johnny's video, the first video with Johnny and the boys from Wiley, Texas.
Josh. Josh.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, no,
Johnny
this is
Josh.
not an amplifier. This is a smart, we'll call it a smart high level to low level adapter.
Very smart.
Very smart.
Mm-hmm.
It has the key features built into it. Dude, I never even used. Wonder what this was for. We never even turned that on. The high to low switch. Yeah, I never even bothered to check that one.
Alright.
We've just been playing with it, man.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is when they give us this stuff like this to
Oh,
play with, our goal and our job is to break it. Find out things that are wrong.
Well, maybe factory radio.
What's up? What is this? Zep Note? What do you go by on there? Zepha Note. So our job is to break it. So we want to see if we can mess up the
Oh,
software.
what's that? Wolf? That's Wolf.
Okay, thank you. Yes, it's Wolf. That's why they give it to us. You know, when we're... Yes, Johnny, totally.
What's up, Jason?
I was talking with Jason last night, as a matter of fact. We were talking about schools and how they all closed. And, yeah, I was like, you're going to have to clean out that garage and find a place of your own.
That's right.
But anyways, the goal here is to break things. We want to have fun with it and just see if we can manhandle it apart. So we were doing that. The cool thing is that with the Q class, we can use that amplifier to give us a really high voltage output and also do an EQ curve to mimic something that a factory radio would have. So it's like it's an awesome test bench amplifier for us.
All right, the LC6 1200, it's that for speakers and subs, or can be used as a 6-speaker setup?
You could, okay, hold on, I gotta shut off the power supply. So the 61200 can do a couple different things. If you don't have, if you're doing like a small subsystem where you only need, like 300-400 watts, then yes, you can use it as like a 5-channel amp and be totally cool with it. Really where it works the best is if you're going to do like a set of components up front, tweeter, mid, active, rear fill, and sub, or 3-channel up front, tweeter, mid bass, no rear fill, and sub. That's really, or front, rear, sub. That's kind of how that all plays out. If you're going to be doing the D. If you're going to be doing the LC, then you're going to want to take like a DM810, and you could do like an LC 6.1200 up front, an LC 4.800 for rear, and then an LC 1.1500 on some subs, and that would just be like the goat of all stereos, So, yeah, rock on there. That would be using it to its full potential. Ask a question yesterday and never got answered. A lot of people do. But I see it now, and the question should have been there, and I could have answered it. So ask again, and we get hundreds of questions every day. And when you tell us that we forgot to answer a question or we didn't have an opportunity to answer a question, it happens a lot because there's a lot of people asking questions. But when you waste a question with telling me I didn't answer a question, you wasted it. It's not a good thing. Don't waste it on that stuff like that. Are you guys going to show the key lock in a car? At some point, yes, but first we want to get out the information first, and then we'll show all the features like in real world. So right now we're designing real world stuff on a bench that we see in a car because we want to have more of a worst case scenario. Like what we can do with this amplifier and the software in it is way worse than what most cars are going to be doing. And if it can fix that, remember there's 31 bands, and we adjusted all 31 bands and made it look terrible. And if it can fix that, it can fix your car.
Can fix you car.
If you could throw a wrench, you can throw a ball.
Okay, wow. Is the 8-inch sub okay, or should I go with a 10-inch?
I mean, Fernando's rocking an 8-inch in his car and a big ported enclosure. I would go with a 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I like a 10. Depends on how much bass you want, man, and how crazy you get. Like I feel I'm gonna I have a 12 that eventually is gonna make it into my car because I know I'm going to be stupid and want to make my ears ring because they already ring now, so I have to get past the threshold of where they're ringing at currently to make them ring farther. But yeah, JL Audio Fix is very similar to this, but this is like this is a more advanced version of the Fix. The Fix now is 4 or 5 years old, so if JL did a rev and came out like a Fix 2, I have a feeling it would be something similar to what this is going to offer as far as things that it can do. But yeah, no, the Fix is a similar idea. So if you're familiar with the concept of a Fix, then you'll get the idea of this. This is just more advanced.
All right,
it's newer.
This is the question that he say you never answered.
Okay, fire away.
I'm going to change 12 audio speakers on my truck. What brand do you recommend? Pioneer or Rockford Fosgate?
12s, or are we talking about he's going to go with 12 speakers or 12-inch speakers?
12 audio speakers.
So he's going to change 12 audio speakers, and the two choices I have
I'm
are
gonna say
Pioneer.
it's a 2019 truck, like a
Ram
Dodge
would have.
Ram.
So if it's a Dodge Ram, that has the Alpine, so that's 4 up front, 5,
it has the
6,
the market.
7, 7, 8, 9, or let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, that would be a Ram. That's got to be a Ram. If it's a Ram like you're talking about, like we just got done doing one, if it has the Harman Kardon system in it.
Correct, the Harman Kardon system. It's a Ford Expedition. All right.
Okay, Ford Expedition, same basic thing.
1997. What?
1997. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, because you got the speakers. Yeah. I don't think it has I don't know if it...
Oh, wow.
It's a THX system.
I was way
maybe
off.
it's THX system, maybe? Either way, so our two choices are Pioneer or Rockford Fosgate.
Mm-hmm.
Pioneer makes the T8, makes the D series, they make the Z series, and of course Rockford Fosgate makes Prime, Punch, and Power.
Power.
Prime and Punch are going to be in that same category as the D and the Z, and then the Power will be above it. The Prime is entry level. You can get a lot for a little. The D has a very quiet tweeter. It's not very it doesn't have a lot of impact to it. So a lot of the times we do just straight Pioneer systems. The D tweeter is it's the problem we run into. That's why we don't do a lot of them, unless the gentleman that is buying them is of an older age where he doesn't need a very bright tweeter. The Z will fix that because it has the brighter tweeter, but the Z is limited in size, meaning it only has 6.5s. There's it. It's like a 6.5 coaxial and 2 sets of separates. So, you're kind of lost there. You don't have a lot of options. Now, if we go back to Punch will give you the size options. However, I'm not a fan of the sound. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're okay. A lot of people like them. I'm not one of them. But then we go into Power. Now, Power makes T1, T2, T3, and stuff like that. And in the T1 line, they have the full gamut of speaker sizes. If you have the budget, I would lean towards T1, T2 style speakers. There again, if you have the budget. If not, I would probably still go with Punch over the Pioneers. There again, this is just my opinion and for whatever it's worth. And you asked. Okay.
All right. Wow, that was a low one.
Well, I want to make sure we hit it all.
Cool. So your review on the kicker key. What if you want to hook up a 4-channel amplifier? Since it only has one RCA output. How do you divide the signal? I'm thinking about this one.
The key lock?
I'm thinking. Because the kicker key, the kicker key.
All right, well, I mean, the kicker key is a 4-channel amp. Right. So this has one RC output, mm-hmm. Okay? Audio is stereo audio, meaning when you listen to music, it's stereo audio, which means it's 2-channel audio left, right. The idea behind this is to get a flat signal that you can then take off and do whatever you like with. You can run it into a DSP. Your DSP is going to give you tweeter mid bass, front, rear, sub, all that fun stuff. Or you can run it off into a 5-channel amplifier. And there again, most 5-channel amplifiers allow you to do 2-channel input. If you want fader control, then you can run 2 of these, one for front, one for rear. But at the end of the day, most of the time, no one ever uses fader control in their head unit. So if you're going out of this into a DSP, you can get your fader control in your DSP. You can set it all up. When we set up a car with a DSP, no one ever fades between the front and rear. It kind of destroys the whole package. It'd be like if you're watching a movie at home and all of a sudden, while you're halfway in the movie, you go, I wonder what my rear speakers are doing. And you fade them to the rear and you don't hear the people talking. You just hear like the effects of the car driving and stuff like that. And you're like, well, these sound terrible. That's because they're rear effects channels. And in audio, we don't even have a rear effects channel. We have to kind of create one, meaning we have to create the illusion that whatever's happening behind us is just kind of an effect. If you want it to be a loud system, like like old school, like the Corvette, where it was just like, I want sound here, I want sound here. Well, that's fine. You can, once you figure out where your amplifier is going to clip at, your maximum level, then you use your 4-channel gain control to control the level of the front and rear mix. So if this is the maximum level they can both play at, you can turn down your fronts to bring up your rears, or you can turn down your rears to bring up your fronts. So you still have full control there. It's just a matter of how you want to do it. If you want to be able to do it from your head unit, meaning you want to be able to have front and rear fader control, well then, buy a radio.
Buy it.
Buy a radio.
Oh, let's see. How do I fix a 2005 Grand Marquis voltage? I put the MacMan 240 amp alternator and can go over 13.9 volts, 14.4. I have an XS Power D6500 battery. Some days my meter reads 13 volts. Then change to 13.9 about half hour.
So the easiest solution to that is, for one, don't ask me. Call MacMan and ask him.
He's the guy.
He's the guy that's going to be able to answer that question because it's his alternator. He's an alternator specialist. Ask me about speakers, ask me about amplifiers. I got you covered. Alternators, not so much. Could be something to have to do with the voltage regulator.
Electrical.
Could be a loose belt. There's a lot of things it could be, but definitely want to talk to him about it and find out what he has to say. It's his baby. Anytime you have an issue with a specific product, if you have the opportunity to talk to the manufacturer, by all means, talk to the manufacturer and find out what they have to say. Is the Audio Control 550 RTA mic any good? Which one is the 550?
The Audio Control 550?
Yeah, which one is the 550? I mean, I thought we had every single microphone. The only microphone of theirs we don't have is the SPL microphone. That might be the SPL, the big SPL microphone.
Probably.
That's the only microphone we don't actually have of theirs because we don't really do a lot of SPL stuff. But supposedly it's an amazing microphone and industry standard. So it's even SPL, bro.
All right.
What type of sound does Sony GS speakers give? I mean, the mid bass is pretty full. It's a big tweeter. It's a big cloth tweeter.
Yeah.
I like them. I didn't have any issues with them. I love the coaxials because they mount the crossovers onto them and they're biampable. So that was one of the big features on them. They are kind of big, so they didn't fit into every application, but super cool.
All right.
I don't know the release date on this. They're still firming up the software on it. Like, this is a version 1 pre-release version of it. Mm-hmm. Even though it came in the box and all that fun stuff, it was literally like, this is not made for resale.
No. And they say the same thing with the Kenwoods and Pioneer radios, the floating screen. We don't know when.
Yeah, somebody wrote on the back of this one. So, and we actually have a version 2 supposedly coming that has even newer software on it, so we get to have a lot more fun with that. Bobby's in the house.
What's up, Bobby? Looks like I'm going with the Kenwood Excellent speakers and the DNR 476S.
Okay.
The audio dynamics.
Okay.
Now, should I stick with the 6.5s, all 4 doors, or maybe 7-inch coax in the back and 6.5s in the front?
No, I would not put a 7-inch in the rear door. I would try to fit it in the front door. So, I mean, if you could fit the 7-inch components in the front door,
and go the 6.5
totally do that. That would make way more sense because you don't need the mid bass coming from the back of your car. You want it coming from the front of your car. Channels 1 and 2 for tweeters and 3 and 4 for mids, if you'd like. That's the nice thing about a DSP. It really doesn't matter. It just has to do with your mindset and what you're thinking. My logical mind and the way it works structurally, yes, that's how I'd set it up. 1 and 2 is tweeter, 3 and 4 is mid, 5 and 6 mid-range, and etc. However, depending on the application, that might not always work. So that's why, like, on most DSPs, they give you the ability to label what channels are which or pick which channels are which. That's why they do that, because it doesn't matter to the DSP. It only matters to the end user so that they can understand what it is they did. Okay.
No, I'm just gonna tell him we have no deal with those amplifiers, man.
Which ones?
The amps.
No, I've never even talked to anybody from that company.
Right.
What was this one? I was talking about the GS9. Have you ever installed the Sony GS9 high-res audio, or should I just use the DSP? I mean, you'd use the GS9 to go into a DSP. It has basic EQ DSP settings built into it, but it's not a DSP. Really, it's an awesome source unit. The whole idea behind the GS9 is it is the cleanest source unit you can get your hands on. It has LDAC for Bluetooth. It'll play high-res files from. There's 3 different USBs. The little micro USB on the front is the one that gives you the best performance out of your smartphone. But yeah, that's what it's made for. It's a source unit. It's made to sound awesome, and then you output that to your DSP. I mean, you can use it as a standalone, but I don't think I ever would. But yeah, here it is right here. Hold on. The GS9. And honestly, the one day we're going to put it in and your car's not here.
It's not here. Look at
I
that.
know.
So
this is the USB you want to use if you can. It kind of, if you read the instruction manual, it kind of talks about what each one of them is capable of doing. But this is the one for your smartphone. But it has LDAC Bluetooth, so that's going to be really cool going forward.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's it. It's a nice unit. All right, let's go back to here. Oh yeah, dude, Aquafina. Look, you bought Aquafina. That's all they had. You know why they only had Aquafina? Because Aquafina sucks. Okay. Here's my Aquafina commercial. Have you ever heard any FI car audio subwoofers? Yeah, actually, a buddy of mine used to have 2 18s in the back of his Durango. Yeah, this big system. Have you ever heard the dual L712 Q class with factory enclosure on the Kicker 1800? Thoughts? That would probably sound amazing. We do not bring in the dual. We only carry the single. And I can the single we run a 951 amp on, so at 800, yeah, that would be perfect. And I'm sure that'll sound amazing. Oh yeah. What will be a great pair of components for the Hertz in a $400 price range? Cento Pros maybe? Maybe the Cento Pros? Check those out. 410, okay, 410, thanks guys. 2016 Chevy Crew Cab, all over it, rocks. Perfect. Or 10-4. Why did I say 410? Jeez, oh man, dyslexia kicking in. Dean single or dual voice coil? Don't care. They both work the same. It's just a matter of what you're trying to do. Sound-wise, it should be identical. The minute differences should not be noticeable by the human ear. What's the difference between the PAC GM1A radio replacement module and the PAC RP5? It's GM1A. Okay, so PAC just came out with a whole new line of modules, and I don't know if the GM1A is the module referring to. The main difference between the RP5 and the new, I think they're called Expert or some silliness like that, is that it's supposedly a better board, and the speaker for the door chimes is an actual speaker. Yeah, that's about it. It's a whole new reworked board though. They rebuilt it from the ground up and kind of fixed all the flaws that the RP5 had, which weren't anything to write home about, but everyone hated the chime, so now it actually has they recorded the chime from the factory and they replay it through an actual speaker, so it sounds really nice. That alone is enough to make me want to buy that other one, just because. iData also does that with theirs. They use a speaker. Turn that knob, it's so smooth. Oh yeah, right? I know, it's an actual real knob. What amp do you recommend that can compare to an Orion HCCA 5000 watt amp? I don't know, buy the Orion 5000. I mean, they're all the same, aren't they, at that point? If they all kind of come from the same guys. What do you got?
Do you guys ever install a Pioneer anniversary kit?
No, but we have one. If you're interested in buying one, please give Paul a call at 727-216-6170. He will give you a great deal on it. We have the whole kit just sitting there, waiting to go out to anybody who wants it. He would love to sell it to you.
Have to go, man. Have to fit the kits. Cool, man.
Yeah, at home school. Kenwood head unit, DNX 9905. You have any experience with it? Yeah, it was replaced by the 9906, and, well, the 6 is better. The 5 was okay. The 5 was better than the 4. Mainly the difference between The 5 and the 6 is for the iPhone guys, because the 6 gave you wireless CarPlay, whereas the 5 didn't have it and only had wireless Android Auto. So if you're an Android guy, really no big difference. If you're an iPhone guy, total difference.
What do I need to install 4-channel lamp and a monoblock in a 2008 Escalade with Bose system? I want to give the radio and the steering wheel controls and factory chimes.
You want to look at iData. Check out the iData. Yeah, just go to iData. If you want to keep the factory radio, or you want to get replacing the factory radio?
Keeping everything.
Are we keeping the factory radio?
Bose want to keep the stock radio. No, he want to keep the stock radio.
Head over to pack-audio.com.
Bypass there.
And I think they have that old amp bypass for that.
For the amplifier.
Yeah, I think they still make that.
Or
if worse comes to worse, Metro Online, you can check out the new DSPX. They might make that for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think one JLW 7.8 will be a lot of bass for a Honda Accord 2014? I mean, it's not going to be a terrible amount of bass. It'll be nice, but it just depends on, it just depends on quantity of bass needed. I mean, if you're trying to crack the earth, then no, an 8 is never going to do it. But if you're just trying to complement a set of, nice components up front and whatnot, then yeah, it might blend fine. It just depends. What makes you happy bass range, and what makes me happy bass range, and what makes the SPL junkie happy bass range, that's hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
That's why guys roll around with, 4,000 15s in the back, or 2 million 10s, and 5,000 6.5s where they can't even see out of the little slit in the door, So volume is a tough one. Will an 8-inch and a ported box L7 sound good? Yes, it'll sound amazing. Is it going to be enough bass for you? Don't know.
You guys ever work on the right-hand drive? If you're not, you will soon. Yes, I work and I mean, yeah, we work on the.
Did we?
Yes.
I don't remember. Yeah. It doesn't. Best Ram door speakers to go with other than stocks. Ram is a 6x9. If you're looking for the easiest solution in a Dodge Ram, the easiest solution by far is the Kenwood Exelons, the 6x9 with the 2.5 or the 3.5. Super simple. You also have the Focal integration series, which is also really nice. Bit harder to fit, but sounds really good is the Morel 6x9s, but they are definitely, you're going to have to work at them to get them in there because they're just not going to drop in.
I never worked with those speakers.
Which ones?
Cantons.
Cantons? Does it say Canton?
No.
Cadence?
Cadence.
Cadence. Yeah, we did.
Really?
Yeah, we put them in the guy that shall not be named that stopped by yesterday. Valdemon's car.
Really?
Yeah, those were all Cadence speakers. Because.
Oh, that's right. He has an amplifiers and everything. That's right.
Sorry, we're impersonating him.
Turn the gains up.
Turn.
Just ding. Just turn it up.
I've known this guy for like 20 years. We just never mention him because when he mentions him, he shows up and it's like.
It's not a bad thing, but sometimes.
No, it is a bad thing. You can only tolerate so much at a time, and he really pushes you to the limits. That's for sure.
Guys, in this house, you cannot.
And if he watches this, he's gonna be like, "Dicks."
He's gonna like
that. Now you said you used to fabricate. Any cool tips on determining enclosure specs based off of driver parameters? So, I mean, that was years ago, and back then, I mean, because you got to remember, man, when I started building boxes, the internet was not a thing, and like software and stuff like that was just starting to come out. So we would rely wholeheartedly on the manufacturer to give us what we needed. And I'm going to look for it, and I'm not going to be able to find it.
All right, for the backup camera and the iPad, you should check ecomaster.com.
I don't think they make anything for that.
I don't know if they, like I say, I don't know if they make something, but
Here,
you should check that. You want me to hold it?
Yeah. Whoa! There you go.
That's me.
Take over for a minute.
All right, so you should check EcoMaster if they make something. I'm not sure, but check that out.
Or just go over to Doug's page.
Who?
I mean, Doug.
Doug?
Soundman.
Oh yeah, Soundman. Just contact Soundman. He has that kind of stuff.
I mean, if anyone's gonna know how to do it, it's gonna be him.
Any release on the date on the Kenwoods and Pioneer floating radios?
Nope.
Nope, not yet, man.
No, because right now everything is just kind of trickling in. Ah, here we go. I found it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah. All right. So the question was about.
I ended. Just kidding.
Subwoofer enclosure design. So back in the day, as it were, this was the enclosure design manual for Orion. So obviously you're looking at a bandpass enclosure here. They are giving you bandpass design, how to find basic geometry, and whatnot. So what you would do is you would come in and they would give you, of course, a glossary, how to.
SPL.
And then over here, this was my Bible, Vented Conversions. So you could go from a, let's say you wanted to do a, let's find one that people do. So let's say a 5-inch port, one 5-inch port, and then you'd come over here and they give you the actual square inches. So that would basically tell you how, it'd be a cheat sheet to go from the circle tube like this over to an actual square. And then, if you wanted to do triangle ports, once you have this number as a cheat sheet, you could figure out how to do triangle ports super easy. So this was the basic geometry page. And then you'd come over here and you'd have your sealed enclosure. And they would give you airspace. So here's your box, and this would tell your performance. So obviously the bigger the box, the boomier it would be. And you come down here. And 1.5 cubic foot would be the small size, and you'd be like, your port is ginormous, 1 4-inch port, 21 inches deep. And then you'd come down here and be like, okay, I want to build a bandpass. So here's your front chamber, here's your rear chamber, and over here is your port. So you would just talk to the customer and find out, do they like dry base or boomy base, and then you would build them one of these boxes here, and that was it. And so it went through, and of course you could take notes. But in this book, it would give you the parameters for every single woofer they made. And then, I would take notes, and I had, all right, hold on. I don't know if these still have them. No, not this one. Hold on. I think it's this one.
Do you actually take notes?
Yeah, I would take notes. So, like, these would be boxes that I had built, and I would keep track of all the boxes and whether I liked them or I didn't like them. And I would be getting the information from the manufacturers. So Diamond back then, the Diamond box, I don't have that instruction sheet anymore. I wish I did, but they would show you how to make their giant boxes with their super transmission line style port. And that's what you would do. So the thought process was like, okay, I built this box with this airspace and this worked. So looking at this woofer, and you kind of build it from there. It wasn't super technical for us.
All right. Do you know what's the Alpine MRX M110 amplifier?
I have no idea what that is. It's an MRX, so that's the X series.
Okay.
What is the?
Well, the question is Scar's speaker subwoofer 12-inch work rate with the amplifier. I don't even know how many watts.
I don't know what kind of
subwoofer.
What's Scar?
Yeah, what kind of Scar? They make 3,000 speakers, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. Best bet is whatever speaker you're looking at, whatever the RMS is. So it has 1,000 watts of RMS. Okay. Divide that in half. Figure you're gonna need about 500 watts to power it. Go look at the amplifier, see what its max power is. Throw that away. If it has a CEA 2006 rating, look at that number, or just see what it puts out. If it puts out, let's say 500-600 watts on a 1,000 watt woofer, you're going to be right in line with what that thing should do, and you not blow your woofer.
Yep.
That's really kind of about it.
Do you have any opinion on Bayman speakers? They very loud?
I don't have an opinion on it. Can I install 2 tweeters on the same channel? As long as you stay within your ohm load, yeah.
2 tweeters?
Yeah. What you may want to do though is instead of going on parallel, positive, negative, is actually put them in series, where you come out into a tweeter's negative, out of that tweeter's positive, into the other tweeter's negative, and then that leftover negative goes over. So you have, and do a series on them. That way, yes, you'll get plenty of power to them. And you'll never ever blow them, ever. I would never ever blow them because you're getting the right amount of power to them.
All right.
Greetings from Sweden.
Basically, any new product that's supposed to come out has been delayed.
Yeah.
Right now.
Everything's been delayed.
Speakers, subwoofers, everything. So we don't know.
Like back to the floating radio thing. They were hoping for the end of July. Yeah. Right now, they're hoping for the end of August.
Well, somebody asked about the Kicker KS speakers release.
Some of them are going to be released here shortly. I can tell you that. I know that much. Some of them are going to be released here
For example,
shortly.
the Kicker Key.
The Key 501 just shipped. We just filmed the video on that. You guys are going to probably get that. I was going to do that tonight, but I think I'm going to wait till next week because I don't want to have two amps in 1 week. I don't want to make anyone upset that we did 2 reviews in 1 week. Oh my God, no. But yeah, so I think those are gonna start slowly but surely, coming off. But it's just no one's, people have to be at work to make this stuff.
All right. What backup camera do you recommend to fit in the tailgate and the pickup instead of the license plate?
Echomaster.com. Echomaster.com has a ton of handle cams for you. We've used pretty much all of them. They make handle cams. They make third light, brake light cams, so you can actually do 2 cams, one up top, one on the bottom. You can get their video switcher. But yeah, Echomaster.com, they have you covered. All right, so the MRX M100 amp. Yeah, that's what. So there again, you got to know more about that kicker woofer. That Scar Audio woofer. All right, let me scroll it down here. Echomaster is amazing. Echomaster is amazing. They make some really cool stuff. Cardio is essential. I like one guy says SPL is like meth. And it brought me back to when we were walking around.
SPL?
SPL, SPL guys, junkies are it's like meth.
Well, yeah.
And it reminded me of when we were walking around at the Speedway, Daytona, the last spring break that we went to, and all those guys over in the SPL, dude, that were all wearing like, I don't know, I guess they do all their shopping online or something like that, but it was just like blown speaker. It looked like a freaking alley. There was like blown speaker pieces everywhere and just like bags of crap just laying around.
Oh,
I don't have the keys.
Wow, man.
That's you, bro. Wow. That's you. Trying not to keep us safe. Way to go, Fernando. My amp keeps going into protect. Is this a problem? Probably. It should not be going into protect. What you're going to want to see is why is it going into protect is going to be more of the point. Is it because there's a shorted speaker somewhere? Is it because you don't have the right amount of voltage? Is it a heating issue? That's what you want to do. First thing I would do is disconnect the speakers, all of them from it, turn the volume up, and see if it still goes into protect. If it still goes into protect, that's going to be an input signal issue. If you connect the speakers back up, if it's a multi-speaker situation, try one speaker at a time. If it's just a subwoofer, before you hook it up, check the ohm load of the woofer. Make sure that it's proper. Check your voltage. See what kind of voltage you have. Make sure that it's not going down to like 8 volts, like you got a bad ground or a bad power underneath the hood. Let's say your fuse holder's starting to melt or something like that. They go into protect is a clear indication. So you want to make sure you have that 13 volts at the amplifier. So a digital multimeter will solve all your problems.
Can I use a DSP with an aftermarket head unit or just for factory? No.
Oh God, no! DSP everywhere. Yes, 100%. DSPs are what make the world go round.
Yeah, you actually get a nice signal from the aftermarket head unit. Yeah.
So like we showed the Sony GS9 earlier, that is like the creme de la creme of radios to feed into a DSP because it reads DSDs. It, like I said, it'll do LDAC over Bluetooth. It'll do all the high-res files you can possibly think to put in it and just throw it right into a DSP, and you get to retain your steering wheel controls. I mean, that alone is what's got Fernando super excited.
Ooh, yes.
But, so, yeah, aftermarket radio, DSP, just shut off all the crap. So here's the nice part. Here's the one nice thing. If you have, let's say you get a nice Kenwood or something like that, and you're going to connect a DSP to it. So you do all the proper tuning for your DSP or the Sony or whatever. You get it all. Man, this is badass. Okay, now you can adjust your tonal quality from the radio. So let's say you're listening to some old school hip hop and it sounds terrible. Well, you can then just make like an old school hip hop curve with your aftermarket radio. Make it a preset.
Yep.
Like Kenwood has 4 presets. Pioneer has 2 presets. I think Alpine has 3 presets.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make an old school hip hop preset. You can make a classic rock preset. And what that is that's going to be a global EQ on top of the DSP's EQ. So like the DSP is there to fix the problems you're having with, let's say, a tweeter mounted up in the dash on the passenger side and a tweeter mounted up in the dash on the driver's side and the mid-range. So it's there to fix all that, but then you can use that radio's global EQ to fix tonality. Ooh, word of the day, people. Tonality.
Tonality. Alright, is the Stinger high-low converter from Stinger, of course, is the same as the back high-low?
No, they're totally different. My shoulder is falling apart.
Really?
Yeah, and this was tightened all back up. No, they're totally different. The Stinger, I don't even know why they make the two, but yes, they're not the same. They're totally different. The Stinger is kind of built off of the old S&I 35 platform, I think, and the reason why they just keep making it is because people keep wanting to buy them. There's dealers that have been buying them for 100 years, and you know, I tell you right now, Pac, if as long as they're selling 1,000 of them, they're gonna keep making them.
All right, Pioneer DSP DQS 1000 is good. No, I personally
It's
don't
a toy.
Don't.
It's a toy. It's the same
It's
thing.
the same thing on the radio.
It's just what comes in the radio. So where it's maybe useful is that if you want to delve into DSP and you kind of want to put your one little toe in it or your one little finger and you just kind of like want to play and just kind of get an idea of like what you can do but you can't do because it's not a real DSP, it's a total Pinocchio. And you don't just want to buy a radio for less money that has the exact same features built into it, then yeah, go ahead and get it. Otherwise, keep it over there. Now, there are certain situations where it could be helpful, like if you have a classic car and you don't want a radio in the dash, or you're doing something like a jet ski, or something that you don't want a radio in the dash but you still want it to sound good, then yes, it's totally the coolest thing in the world to have, but as a DSP, not so cool.
Not so cool.
So it's like a lot of things in car audio. There's a time and a place for them, and you just have to find the time and place.
All right, center console in a boat. Oh, hang on.
Okay.
I've been installing some Wet Sounds Revo. I don't know.
Yeah.
8-inch coax in the center console.
Yeah.
Should I be concerned about the back waves canceling each other out?
No, because they're the back waves. As long as they don't get to the front, you're fine. You know, what happens behind the driver only matters behind the driver. So if someone's sitting in the center console, you know, like if it's a bathroom or something like that, and they're hearing all that, it's going to sound really weird to them. But if it only matters what happens on the front, so you'll be fine.
All right, so what do you recommend for a 2009 Pontiac GXP aftermarket stereo, wiring harness, and retained rear entertainment center? Oh, really?
If there's one that's cool, I would check out iDataLink/Maestro and see if they have it. Otherwise, Pac-Audio, you know, and MetroOnline.com are going to be all the companies that we're going to go through, just like you guys would, to figure out what piece we need in order to work in what location.
That's awesome, Wolf. Tonality. Wolf writes down words in notes possible on exam. That is awesome, man. I like him. It's just like tonality.
Well, I mean, it's a fun word to say. You know, it always reminds me of when Haley was a kid and we would watch like Sesame Street and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Rutabaga. Yeah, and you're like, oh, Jesus, shoot me now.
Tonality. Can you repeat with me? Tonality.
Yeah, you're close. What is the diameter of the Kenwood tweeters that comes with a 7-inch? Honestly, it's like that is the most obscure question ever. I have no idea. I mean, I can remember a lot of things, but the diameter of a tweeter? Come on, man. Really? That's what the internet is for.
No kidding, right? It's searchable, people.
Yeah.
Searchable.
I mean, I'm all for answering questions, but, you know, let's be realistic about these questions.
No kidding,
Holy
right?
crap.
Mike Bell, thank you so much, man. He just follow Dean and Fernando car stereo clips.
Oh, yeah, the new YouTube channel.
Yes.
Definitely. Thank you for bringing that up. So the whole idea behind that YouTube channel is we've taken small clips of audio. Eventually, we're going to get to doing this show, but We're not. We're just doing like the Facebook and the YouTube. And as it grows, and we have tons of content that we're just editing to put up there, and they're little 5-minute clips. So if you're bored and you have a short attention span, it's nice to go up there because you can just catch some of the cool questions that were asked. Or it's also a place where we've just put a lot of questions that you ask over and over again. And honestly, I'll put them up there as many times as they get asked. I'll just retitle them so that they're different and they answer the same thing. Just because it's like people ask the same question twice. They just ask it a little bit different every time. So that means it's one more question.
And back again with the question, yes, you can use the Kenwood 600 DSP on an aftermarket head unit.
So how the Kenwood 600 DSP works is it has 2 channels of audio input. And the idea behind it was the first product to work with iData's AR. The second product, of course, was the DSR-1. What you can do is if you have an AR-compatible car, which you can go to iData link/Maestro and select AR and then type in your car, it will tell you, hey, you can just plug it in. So like if you have a JBL system, or you have a Mark Levinson system, or you have a Harman Kardon system, or you have a Sony system, they're all designed to integrate with that. Now, if you don't have one of those, but you're like, dude, I just want a DSP from Kenwood, fine. It'll do that. You still need to have an AR. They make a special harness that comes in the box with the amplifier now, because the AR is what creates the remote turn on for the amplifier. So you have to have the AR to turn on the amplifier. But then the amplifier only has 2 channels of audio in and 4 channels of audio out, with 6 channels of DSP power built into it. Okay, so like we were talking about earlier, what do we do because it only has 2 channels of audio out? So for example, if you had a factory premium sound system or whatever it was, and you put this in there and DEQ'd the crap out of it, you could then come out of this into that D600 Kenwood amplifier with 2 channels of clean audio. You could do a 3-way component set up front. You could do a 2-way component set active up front with rear, and then you could do sub out of 7 and 8, or you could do 3-way up front, do rear out of 7 and 8, do sub out of 8, out of 9 or 10, and I think you can even separate 9 and 10 to do a center channel if you want. So it's a really cool DSP amplifier. The one thing, because everything, as we said, everything is not perfect, and this is by far the one thing that is the most irritating about that amplifier, you can only look at the software when it's connected to the amplifier, so you can't play with it. It's the only product that I know of right now where you have to have the DSP actually connected in order to do anything with it, which is a total bummer, because it's really kind of cool software to play with, but they're just not giving you access to it. And, well, damn them.
All right, let's see. I got this one.
You got that one?
I got. Okay, what do you prefer? Kenwood Exelon DDX 6906 or the Alpine ILX 207?
Well, since the 207 just got the update to fix the stupid scrolling issue.
You pick the 207? Yes or no?
I'm gonna pick the 207.
207 it is. Boom.
Now, if you're asking me the 706 or whatever that Exelon short chassis radio is, I would go with that one. But that's just me.
Okay.
Okay.
Have you made a video wherein you use the D4.800 to control a slave amp like the LC 1.800, like gain match?
I mean, we've done it. We've done
we
it plenty of times.
Yeah.
I don't think we've actually talked about gain matching per se.
Like that, no.
No, because, I mean,
it's.
We always just leave the gain down and turn it up in the software until it blends with the front.
All right, subfire up.
Subfire up, subfire down. And a truck.
What would you think is better than the Dodge Ram 2019?
Oh, I like it when it fires up. I like when it fires up.
And if you're gonna check, Frostbite makes a nice
Frostbite makes a really nice box, and they just started making ported boxes for those.
Out.
So if you give Bruce a call at Frostbite Boxes, they just started with the ported boxes for those Rams, so you can fit a deeper sub. Because they're stacked fab, so he CNC cuts all of the Frostbite boxes, and so if he needs to, he can just stack them up, make them higher. We have one coming in. We have a ported box for the Dodge Ram, the 2019 one we did. We put a Fox box in it, And the way that Ram works has a sliding rear seat, and the Fox box is a little too tall. So we're going to go with, I called Bruce at Frostbite. We talked about it. He's going to build us a 2-ported box for 2 L7Ts, 12s, to go in it so that his seat will still slide back and forth, the rear seat.
Bruce is the man.
So, yeah, Bruce is definitely the man.
Yeah.
And that new Ram box,
Yep.
the camel hump box, I guess is what they call it, is
All right,
fiberglass.
so
It's pretty badass.
Mike Bell has a question. Best speaker for the money for rap music for 2005 Civic. So it's a 6.5. What will you pick for rap
music? If
rap
that's all I'm
music?
listening to, I'd probably go pick some of the Scar Neos.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I would pick some
good.
Scar Neos, man.
That's pretty good.
You know, because if that's all I'm listening to, like, I don't need tonality. I just need loud and sound like big tweeters. I would pick some of the Scar Neos, man. Or any one of those style Neo speakers that are just louds. I mean, if I want mid bass for whatever reason, I'd cut the door and I'd put a set of Rockford T2 set in there, and that T2 tweeter is phenomenal. So what we've done in the past is we'll actually go with some loudspeakers down in the 6.5, and then we'll buy the Rockford T2 tweeters, or sell them the Rockford T2 tweeters, to go up top in the factory tweeter spot, because it is the loudest, smallest tweeter that we can get our hands
like
on,
a factory fit,
that fits in that small location, but has that like
you don't have
loud
to go crazy.
speaker horn sound. The T2 does that. It's like that's its superpower. So those T2 tweeters up front, a set of Neo Magnet louds in the bottom, some 12s in the back, a DSP to make it all sound good.
Definitely a DSP.
I believe the shallow radio is a 770. Correct. That would be the one. I love that radio. It's so sexy. How about a video on the songs you use for tuning? I forgot how. We actually did a podcast on that. On the songs we use for tuning. We have a podcast on that. We actually did a podcast for about 1.5 years, and Bobby keeps reminding us that we're supposed to start doing it again. And we probably should, because I actually have 2 of them that we never even released. But it just got to the point to where it was just too much for me to handle it all.
Okay.
But what is a DSP? A DSP is a digital sound processor. And that's a good question, because we say a lot of words, and sometimes things like that we might take for granted. Like, what is a DSP? A DSP is going to be a box that does 4 things amongst other. They do a lot of things, but there's 4 things that every DSP has to do. 1, it has to have a crossover built into it for each channel, meaning channel 1 through 8, channel 1 through 6, channel 1 through 10, whatever. There has to be an active crossover for each one of those channels, okay? Step 2, it's going to have a volume control for each and every channel, okay? So you'll be able to turn up the volume on just one speaker, up or down, and the ability to mute it. That helps for tuning. Third, they have to have an EQ of some kind for each channel separately, meaning channel 1 has its own EQ, so if you have an 8-channel DSP, you're going to have 8 EQs, all right? Can be a bit foreboding. Ooh, word number 2. Fourth and final, it'll have the ability to add some kind of time delay, meaning being able to compensate for the fact that when you sit in a car, you have one speaker here and you have another speaker way over here. And to create an accurate stereo image, you have to sit equal distances away from both of your speakers. So being able to add a delay to the speaker is something the DSP will do in order to give you a center image. That's what a DSP does. Now, just like everything else in car audio and everything else in the world, there are a plethora of DSPs out there, from entry-level mild to that's insane. And the more insane you get, the more other features they add on top of those 4 things that can get to be really cool.
All right, now talk about the DSP. Best way to add 2 amplifiers to a factory radio is a 2014 Cruise, Chevy Cruise. What do you do? What do you need?
First thing I check is see if the First thing I check to see is if the Amp Pro GM61 will work in that car. That'd be the first thing. So I go over to pack-audio.com and see if it fits the criteria. for magical dip switch number 3 to be turned on. Now, if it doesn't, I have to count the channels. So I need to find out how many channels I have in the car. Do I just have 4 basic channels, left, right, front, rear? Is there an amplifier in the car? That's the most important thing. Once I find out how many channels I have, then I figure out what do I want to do. Do I want to just do a simple integration, something like an LC7i style integration from audio control, or I'm just going to do a high level to low level that's going to attach in and give me RC outputs? Do I want to do something a little bit more advanced? Do I want to go to like the audio control LCQ1, which is going to give me basic analog equalization on top? So like everyone loves an EQ, the LCQ1 will allow you to do high level into equalization. Or do I want to go straight up DSP, and I want to have all the control in the world, and I want to be able to DEQ and fix the problem with the factory radio? All this comes to the factory radio in that if I'm just going to add an LC7i, all I'm going to do is amplify what's there. Yes, we'll have a little bit of tonality change, because we're going from one type of speakers to another type of speakers, but we're not actually going to fix anything. They're, again, not the end of the world, but if we're like, we really hate the way it sounds, the only difference we're doing is 1, making it louder, and 2, changing the type of speaker, which might not do anything. It just might be a louder new speaker. You know, if you go from a cloth tweeter to a metal tweeter, or go from having no tweeter to having a tweeter, obviously that's going to sound better, and sometimes that's all the system will need. But figuring out that scenario is where you're at.
All right, what do you think about 2 6.5 woofers in the front door?
Keep in mind they're woofers, so you really have to make that front door rigid in order for those to perform. Plus, you have to figure out, are they free air woofers or enclosed woofers? If it's an enclosed woofer, well, then you need some form of an enclosure. The door is not going to work. If they're free air woofers, then all you really have to worry about is isolating the front wave from the back wave. With that being said, finding a mid-bass driver that's made to go in the door might be a better alternative and actually sound better, because a woofer is really only made to play 80 hertz and down, whereas a mid-bass driver, you can play up much higher and down low and still have that nice impact and be able to blend better with whatever you're going to be using for the speaker on top of it. So if you have a tweeter and you have a 6-inch woofer in the door, there's going to be a giant hole, and it might not sound that good.
And I believe that's what he meant, like 2 6.5 mid-bass.
LC6i works. The only difference between LC6i and LC7i is AccuBass. So yes, the LC's totally awesome piece. It'll do the same thing. It's like it's forgetting all the time.
How do you know what track to use when setting the DD1?
Well, Steve Mee does an excellent job of walking you through this process. So if you haven't figured it out, he does great videos. But right off the top, the 0 dB track is for when you're testing from your factory radio out of your amplifier for where the distortion is on the volume control. So naturally when you set it up, you follow the instructions where it says start with your gains all the way down, set your crossovers the way they need to be so you can pass the signal through. Bass and treble on your radio set down, subwoofer level control turned up. Okay, you put the 0 dB track in, you have your DD1 and the output of the amplifiers, you turn it up, you know, it goes 31, 32, 33, 34, and that light turns on. So you play the 1000 hertz 0 dB test track, let's say that turns on at 34. You play the 0 dB 40 hertz test track, let's say it turns on at 33. 33 is your new max volume. So that's it. 33 is as loud as it's going to get. Then you switch up. Now you have to figure out your offset. So at 0 dB, there's no clipping, no distortion. It's the cleanest signal you're going to get out of that radio. However, because not all music is recorded at the same level, you're going to have no wiggle room or headroom, no ability to make the system, like when you're listening to one track that's recorded super loud because it's a brand new song and it sounds great, and then you're going to switch to something that's old and it's going to sound like crap and you're going to wish you could turn it up. That's where your gain overlap comes into play. So an accepted gain overlap is usually -5 dBs on the high, -10 dB on the sub. That's totally up to you. I personally do -5 on both because I'm keeping my bass knob there where I can get plenty of volume control. The other thing to keep in mind, if you're going to be using any form of bass boost, adjust that when you're doing the whole thing. Now listen guys, that takes us to an hour and Instagram is telling us we got to get off. So thank you so much for tuning in. We didn't think we were going to have an hour today, but we did. Crazy. So, hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for playing along. You guys stay safe out there. You know what to do. Stay home. Be cool. Rewatch things. Head over to DNF Tool Drawer. for all the cool tools you want to use, like we just talked about.
Yep.
Of course, 12 Volt Clean Wire Club is the new Facebook page where you can go and see all wiring. It's just wiring. Make sure you join so you can check it out. It's free to join. It doesn't cost anything, and we accept everyone.
Yep.
You don't have to be special. Other than if you post a picture, it has to be of clean wiring.
If it's not, bye-bye. Dean and Fernando Car Stereo Clips, you can find her on YouTube.
Yeah.
Check
join.
that.
Join. All you guys
subscribe.
should, if you aren't subscribed to Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips on YouTube, for one, what are you waiting
Shame
for?
on you guys.
Two, go join. Go join the madness.
Now.
So that I make more videos. Because right now I'm like, I don't even know if this is going to work out. And if it's not going to work out, I want to spend more time on it. So,
go
and it's a
subscribe.
great idea, and it's something you guys have all been asking for. Shorter play videos that are easy. You can chop them up and spit them out.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah. So
it's a good information.
go join the club. Thank you guys. Be safe. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye. Ooh. Look at that. It's like a door panel pillow. It's so soft. So soft and squishy. Squishy. Well, good day everyone, and how's everybody doing on this beautiful Friday? And I tell you it's Friday just in case some of you don't actually know what day of the week it is. Welcome to our world. There's only one day, right? Sunday?
Oh, I was thinking Monday.
No, Monday it all begins again.
It feels like everything begins.
On Monday? It feels like it never ends, but ooh, this is so soft. It's so squishy. It's so fluffy. So what do we got going on here today? Well, today we started filming a client video. It's behind this, but Fernando's working over here on this one so we can check it out. And Car Stereo goes on and on and on. God willing, yes. Look at that. We have a start to the Ground Zero project that well, actually, it should have been done now. Thankfully, but because the world stopped spinning, everything got delayed, so we kind of put it on the back burner. And, well, we're cooking from the back of the stove today.
Yes.
So we have the Ground Zero project going on. And today we're concentrating on the sound treatment portion of it.
All right.
And it's a 3-step process. So their door kit actually has a 3-step process. This is step 1, there's a step 2, and then that's step 3. And we filmed the whole thing, and what do you think? Turned out good?
Oh, it turned out good.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't edited or anything or looked at any of the footage, but I'm pretty sure it's magical. A baked potato? This is a total baked potato. Total baked potato. But what's up, William Berg?
What's up?
Yeah. I gotta get those boxes that I wanted to him. That would be cool. All right. Lots of love. But yeah, so Fernando's over here. He's doing the hard, sharp part, and I, of course, did the cool, squishy part. Honestly, I thought I got the better end of the deal, and I got to be honest with you, I don't know if I did.
Very sticky.
That stuff is so sticky. Oh, my gosh. It was so sticky. Shout out from Trinidad, Tobago.
What's up, man?
Tobago?
Tobago.
Tobago? What's up from CA? Camarillo.
Camarilla?
Is that like Amarillo in my heart? Oh, it's a country song. So look at him we'll just sit here and watch him work. Isn't it just refreshing? Hey, from Massachusetts. I wonder what it'd take to slow down car audio installations. Hopefully we never find out. It would take this. They're definitely slowing down for sure. There's no doubt about it. But Puerto Rico checking in. All the way from Puerto Rico. There you go, buddy. That's all for you. Woo, Puerto Rico. Lima, Peru. What's going on?
Hey.
Sorry I missed the beginning. What car is that? That is wonderful. Fernando, what car is this?
This is a Nissan Altima 2018.
Okay, so there you go. What this is the start of our Ground Zero project. Ground Zero contacted us back in February and asked us to build them a car, and this is the car. So we're starting out, of course, with sound treatment. They sell these cool door kits. This is one of 3 steps. Earlier at the beginning of the show, I was over here it's so squishy. I did the door panel. He's working on the door card. He's working on the door itself. Ever tried pop speakers made here in Chicago? No, I haven't. Never heard of them. Arizona checking in.
What's up?
Oh yeah, no problem, William. It's on the back of my mind. Trust me. Thank you so much. I just, like most things, I'm about 2 months behind on.
You haven't done that yet?
I know, right? Hey, it's the coronavirus capital of the world. So he says, New York, New York. What's going on?
Stay safe, buddy.
And if you can't, say extremely dangerous. That's what I say. If you can't be safe, be dangerous.
All right.
You know, I don't know. Just, how's it going from Chicago? Kind of limping to the left. India in the house. What's going on? Canada. What's going on there? Nova Scotia. Don't you know? Good work. Yes, Fernando's doing wonderful. And there it is. We've been waiting for it. Dean and Fernando's car stereo clips on YouTube. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. Make sure you go subscribe for your cool clips. Yeah, by all means. Head over there, please.
Question and answer, man.
Question and answers, right there. We are also here working on cars in the Sound Shop in Lansing, Illinois.
Nice.
Hey, if you're in the Illinois area, hit them up. Hit them up.
There you go.
RF fantastic. Yeah, I hope everyone caught that little video. You're a busy man. I guess. Yeah. I mean, I like to think I am, but yeah, we'll go with that. New Jersey in the house. Hey, all.
Y'all.
What's going on? Missouri quarantine going on. Don't you know? How do I get in contact with you guys to install stuff in my car? You'd email Paul through the webpage would probably be the easiest way to do it, or contact him via Facebook, and someone will eventually get back to you. Or you could just call them at 727-216-6170 and start a conversation with them, and then they will get all the information that way. It is not a quick process, I'll tell you right now. But yes, that's the best way. Probably call him. He's probably sitting over there doing something. DC checking in.
What's up?
I'd love to have my Denali stereo upgrade by you. You wouldn't be the first guy from DC. He caught the train, brought it down. Great to watch Dean and Fernando from the East Coast of Florida, where the weather is just beautiful. Hi, which is the best components for any car build? I don't know if there's one that is the best. I mean, that's the thing. I definitely don't think there's one that's the best. Oh. Yeah, I don't think there's one that is the best.
Well, I think the best is the one that you actually like and enjoy and put on.
Okay, I sneezed and faced the other direction.
Oh no!
Oh, cool, Mastine. You need to get one for Fernando and that. Oh, we both have them. We got them. When things slow down, you guys can hit some banks. Yeah, no, we all got them. Actually, they sent us 3.
That was good.
Yeah. Dude, okay, trust me. I was thinking about that today when I was walking into Target. So I had to go to Target for Easter stuff for Haley. I know, she's 20. It's okay. We still do it. And the Easter Bunny still comes. Hoppity hop. Anyways, as I'm walking in, there's all these people with the little painter's masks on. But one lady had a freaking bandit one on, you know, with the thing around the ears, a little point. And I was like, this is the only time ever that anyone has been able to wear one of these in a grocery store and not feel like, you know, you're going to get in trouble, like you're going to rob them or something. It's just crazy times, man. It's crazy times.
Perfectly normal now.
Perfectly normal. Normal is crazy. Crazy is normal. Yeah, whatever I said. Memphis checking in. Any Volkswagen car? Not today. Thank God. Have you seen the Memphis Audio Mini Mojo 6 dual loaded enclosure? I have not seen it, but we do have one. It's that little guy right there. That's the little Mini Mojo 6.5 sitting next to that T110 of Fernando's. That we never got the grill on. Just saying. Thanks, Rockford. It's not bitter. Not at all.
That was good. That was good.
What would be a good amount to spend on some components? Well, okay, so it's not as simple as just like buying a set of components. It's what are you going to power them with? That's the key. So it's like a whole circle of life thing. So, if you bought like a $300 or $400 set of components, then you're going to need an amplifier to power them. You figure you're going to spend another $200 on an amplifier, and then you got installation. So, you're $1,500 real quick for a middle of the road. Now, if you're just going to power them off, let's say a deck, that 18 watts, well, then you're looking at like $150 set of 6.5 components, because they'll be able to work off that lower power, and you're not going to need, they're going to have smaller magnets and things like that. So, something to think about. Have you ever done a first-gen Mazda 6? Of course. I don't remember what we did, but I know we've done one.
Radio.
Yeah,
speakers.
sure.
Yeah.
Some of the awesome SR5 channel amps in... Oh, dang! Lance just told me they have the SR5 channel amp. Lance, I've been waiting on that. Because
so
I'm going to order... I should call Lance. Yes, Lance.
So Lance said that he's going to send us those. Good job, Lance. Yes. I like that idea.
No, but I am going to order one. Yes, no, because I've been waiting. Because remember we were talking about it the other day. Do I do that? And I just really want the 5 channel. So now,
just tell him the idea that you have.
All right. Why does he care?
Because he's gonna send that product. He just said
Yeah, right. What's the difference between kicker, front row, and a DSR1? Honestly, I haven't looked at the instructions for a front row in a really long time, but it's not a... Robert Van Hoyt would be the guy to ask that question to because he's got a front row. But the DSR1 is a full DSP. It's set up like a DSP. The front row has like 6 knobs, and honestly, I don't know, man. We had one in, it never sold, and it went back. So, but I think it's a more conventional style EQ. I don't know. Any idea how much weight all that sound dampening will add to that car? Believe it or not, it's not that much.
no.
This is not that heavy stuff. This is light. This is lightweight. This 3-piece set. So you have this. This is 5 sheets. This is 5 sheets of their stuff. There's 4 in the box. We added an extra one. The next layer to this is some foam. These pieces of foam right here. Of course, it's foam, so it doesn't weigh anything. And then if you come over here, and there's foam here. So there's just a lot of foam. This foam, for what we're used to do, this foam really is super lightweight. But I will tell you, this door we've already done, and when we close it, it closes like... I hate to use the word Cadillac, but man, it's just like... It sounds so nice. It's really nice. It's spectacular even. Most amazing. Brilliant. Yeah, you got enough there? Okay. Is this project going to be on YouTube? Of course this project is going to be on YouTube. That's the reason why we're doing it, is because
it's going to be many parts?
Many parts. There'll be many parts, as Fernando says, many parts on YouTube. We're just filming the first part today because we had a dip in the schedule and the car was here. So it was like, let's do something. And I'm like, let's film the roadkill. Let's film... Yep. Beep. Yeah, beep, do over. Let's film the sound treatment. We trained ourselves not to say the other word, dynamat, and to say roadkill in all the videos. And now it's because that's what we use. And now it's like training ourselves just to say sound treatment, which is what we say in most videos now, just say sound treatment. But it just depends on how old the video is or not. What sound system are you installing in the current car? So this one is going to be all ground zero. So this is a full ground zero build from everything. There's 3 amplifiers, one of which is a DSP amplifier. And we have their speakers here. It's getting some of these. This is the set of components that are going in there. More sound treatment. See there again. This is one of the amplifiers. There's another one. There's a big, beautiful subwoofer. Big, giant 12 that we're putting in. That we're going to have Bruce over at Frostbite make us a gorgeous box. It's going to be 2-tone. I don't know if you've ever seen their standalone boxes that they make, but they could put vinyl inserts in them. And we're going to have this one, of course, yellow. Because Jeez, oh man. Ground zero. Its colors are black and yellow. And, of course, the owner of the car's favorite colors are black and...
yellow.
So, it's a double. Slow down. I know, right? I need to. Well, see, and but if I slow down, then it just gets crazy. Hey, guys, hope you're staying safe. Received your amplifier. Awesome. He just ordered a 61,200.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. What's your favorite 8-inch sub? Oh, hey, Thomas Keenan's in the house. What's going on?
Mr. Thomas.
Do you have a favorite 8-inch sub? I mean, the one that you're using is
sub?
Probably your favorite. But,
yeah. B2. I like the B2, how it sounds and everything.
So last time I had 8s, I had Orion XTRs.
Okay.
I don't know. Just not an 8s guy. What's a good 5-channel amp that I can have under seat in a Chevy Traverse Or do you recommend, I mean, the smallest 5-channel amp that I can think of, which I don't know if it'll fit underneath there, but the smallest one is the 8105 Kenwood Exelon. That's pretty tiny. Or if you have room, you can do it in 2 pieces. Check out like the ACM 4300 and the ACM 1.300, because that'll make a 5-channel amp and you can break them apart. Don't know much about audio, but thoughts on the amplifier for door speakers. There again, a nice, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot to that question, I guess. There's several amplifiers.
Check Ground Zero.
Yeah. Okay, way to go.
They have 4 channels. They got plenty, so go to the website.
Here you go. What's a good way to take Dynamat off your car?
Oof.
Sell the car. No. Mineral spirits.
But why do you want to take it out?
Well, no. Let's say they got it over the side, and they want to come it off. Mineral spirits.
Yeah.
Mineral spirits are gooby gone. Test a small area where you're not going to see it.
Okay, so
and
normally if you got right here, it's just like...
Yeah, but if it's been on there for a while, man, it's not going to come off.
Plastic panel tool, yeah.
But, it's like this. How do you get rid of that? So gooby gone or mineral spirits will take that off.
Normally, if you grab, like, the
you
butyl
can,
and just touch it, you see that?
It'll come right off.
It comes right up, like... You can see it, you can pull it out, but yeah.
All right, there you go.
I got nothing.
You got nothing. What do you think on speaker relocation for better performance? Hey, man, if you got the time and you got the tools, do it. Is there any benefit to using a DSP if you aren't running active? Of course there is. Why wouldn't you? We do it all the time. It's the best. Good luck with that. Wow, Ryan, bring back the old school. Dude, I love the old school. Thomas didn't see when we did the review on, hold on, Thomas. If you're an old school Ryan guy, we just got done doing a review over here on this beautiful GT 620 GT MOSFET. Oh, yeah, that was fun. This was a cool unboxing we did. I got to take that home. I keep forgetting to do that. Follow Dean and Fernando Car Stereo Clips on YouTube. Definitely do that. Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. All right. What do you mix with the alcohol to clean cars? All right, so we ran out of the first batch of alcohol we were using, and we got some different alcohol that was way more potent. So we've had to switch from that because you got to be real careful. We were doing test areas, and it literally pulls everything off of it. So we're kind of switching. We're between cleaners right now. We're just experimenting, trying to find other things because, of course, trying to find anything right now is a pain in the butt. So we're working on different formulas. Which one is the best DSP solution for an amp for 6 speakers and 1 10-inch woofer? I mean, audio control is very easy to use and very affordable. You have Helix. There's a ton of different DSPs out there. And of course, you just have a DSR-1 if you're trying to get into it for a reasonable amount of money. Dean mixes it with Corona. Johnny, you're funny. What's up, Bobby? OS, it's okay if power from Focal Flax with 75 watts RMS, 4 ohms, or should I get a little bit more power? They're rated at 80. Most of the time when we do the Flax, we're running the audio control 4.800 to them, which is like 120 watts. So 70 would probably be the minimal amount you could run to them, but yes, you could go considerably higher on them and they will sound a lot better. There's no question about that. All right, let's refresh here. Just made a post on the Syndicate asking shops about cleaner options. Oh, cool, Steve. I will definitely have to check into that because we had really good cleaner mix in the beginning, but we've since run out of it. And then we bought a couple other things. And yeah, so I was talking with McNulty yesterday, and we're thinking about making like a hand soap / bleach, very little bleach. And of course, just see how that goes. But that's kind of going to be the project for this weekend. We only got one more day left. We'll get by with what we have left. and then we'll come fresh at it on Monday, hopefully. Hi, Dean and Fernando.
Hey.
Someone said spray 9. The other problem is right now is just trying to find anything that you can get.
Yes.
You know, the other thing we're thinking about doing is hitting up like the auto parts stores, because obviously they have spray cleaner there. The whole scary part is if you get too much bleach or too much alcohol in the combination, yes, it'll kill all the bacteria and all the crap in the car, but it'll also turn everything white, which sucks.
You have to be careful. What do you put it on? Yeah.
I want something homemade if possible. Exactly. Yeah, it has to be something that we can MacGyver together right now. I've got a guy who can make custom cleaner for you. Let me know if you want info. Yes, Thomas, I do. Yes. Yeah, I do. You know, I was thinking of all the guys to ask. It would be him.
That would be him.
Just because
right.
he deals with all the dirtiest cars on the planet. And for sure. And that was the funny thing. He was like, you know, it's like he deals with dump trucks and garbage trucks and septic trucks.
We've been thinking about, like, you know.
Yeah, please. Yeah, if you could DM me that information, Thomas, I would. I'll kiss you next time I see you. I'm joking. I won't do that. You kidding me? No homo. Anyways. Hey, this might sound weird, but do you have a mini Ahuja taking pre-orders for you? It seems weird because I paid him through an AOL. Yes, Minnie is Paul's wife.
Yeah.
So Minnie Ahuja, yes, that is Paul's wife. Paul's name is Paul Ahuja, and if that name sounds familiar, that's because there's also a Bob Ahuja that owns American Base. Are they related? Maybe. Yes, of course they're related. Don't be silly. Just switched upgrade from a Kicker 1801 2016 to 2019. Ooh, it should be getting the same power, but it doesn't sound the same. Any ideas? They went to a totally different power supply. So the older Kickers and the new Kicker amp it's a totally different power supply. They've changed the whole configuration of it and how it works. So yes, I'd be curious to see what difference is in sound, so that I could ask Joe. Because Joe would know, because that's his department. But yeah, they're totally different power supplies. Good cleaner, 5 parts of water, 1 part bleach. And that's what we were kind of thinking. We were going to take that, and then we were going to add a little bit of like hand sanitizer to it just to make it bubbly and, you know, get the bubble action. Awesome, thanks, man. No problem. 5 volt pre-out, okay, on 4 volt max input amp. Yeah. Because you got to remember, most radios that say they're 5 volt don't actually do 5 volt, and it's only 5 volt when the volume is all the way maxed and you're putting it at, like, you have the hottest signal, you know, like something that has all the loudness turned up in the recording, and it's just nuts. Like, if most of the time music doesn't play that way, so you're just giving it the most amount of signal you can. Just keep your gains down and you'll be all right. The old one was louder. Or just, is it louder or does it sound different? Because it's a different construction, so, you know, that's always weird when it's like louder. I mean, it might have been. I mean, obviously you've heard it and we didn't. Is it louder? I mean, can you, like, obviously it'd be hard to take a dB meter, but if you still have the old amplifier, I guess the easiest thing would be to do is actually see what kind of voltage it was putting out, you know, do an AC voltage test on it and see if they put out the same amount of AC voltage. And that would tell you it's like they're both putting out the same amount of wattage, but acoustically they sound different, which might make sense. What is a daisy chained input? A daisy chained input would be just like Christmas lights, where you go into one, you go into the next one, you go into the next one, you go into the next one. Now, some amplifiers have inputs and outputs. You go into the input, out of the output, into the input, out of the input, into the... So, in some amplifiers, they also call that master-slave, where you have a master amplifier, you go to the slave inputs on the other amplifiers. I'm an audio installer, too. Kicker L7, wait. Also, a Kicker L7, how much is yours there? I don't think I understand the question. I don't know. It didn't make sense. Hey Dean, I got a D6-1200 over a VXI 1005 running Audio Frog GBs. Was that a good choice? Yeah, because there's way more power in that 6000. Yeah, and plus the nice thing about the D6-1200 is if you ever wanted to add just a sub amp in there, you can. So like the 61200 and the LC 1.800, like that combination a lot, because then you do like full active and you still have rears and you still have sub. I heard it's funny, the vinegar thing. Okay, I heard the vinegar thing too. Susan mentioned that the problem with vinegar is the smell. You can't do vinegar in a customer's car, because remember, at the end of the day, we're cleaning their cars. We can't damage anything. We can't. All we have to do is kill a virus or kill a bacteria or kill scummy gooey crap.
Just do something.
We don't, it has to be better than when it came, and I'd be scared to do something with vinegar because, it smells gross. Thanks, Dean, legend and thought. Music dynamic, but I had some tell me something else. Great work. It's the only time we ever ran into an issue with like a 5-volt output and a 4-volt amplifier was like an Alpine, and it was only if we were playing something with like maximum loudness in the recording and we cranked up like the EQ, and we just overloaded the input on the amplifier, and it just said, I'm out. And it was like, okay, well, let's just turn that down a little bit, and that solves that issue. Do you look for 5-volt, 4-volt out of an audio control LOC or distortion? I look at distortion. I straight up just, the light that's on it, so on the LOC, there's, the distortion light on it, what do they call it? They have a name for it. The little yellow light on the top of it. Dude, it works great. Just use that and you'll have no problems. When that starts to come on, turn it down, move to the next channel. When that starts to come on, turn it down. When it starts to come on, turn it down, and you're all set and ready to go. Makes things super simple. I like simple. The content you guys have on your YouTube is awesome. Makes me want to go spend money on new speakers and install them, even though I don't need them. And that's kind of the idea behind the channel, is to keep people interested in car audio, show how cool it is. Everybody wants to be part of the cool club, right? 12-volt Clean Wire Club, Facebook. Don't you want to be a member? You can do some cool installs, take like cool pictures of your wiring, go into those speakers, and then you can post them over on Facebook at the 12-volt Clean Wire Club. That would be so sexy. I'm just saying.
Clean, guys, clean.
Should it be hard for me to see the AC blue LED in daytime? I don't know. It's kind of dark inside of a car, so I gotta be honest, I've never looked at the LED in the daytime outside of the install bay. We live in a cave, we stay in the cave, I don't ever look at stuff in sunlight. Our power-based amplifiers, okay. They are okay. There's no question about it, they're okay. Powerbase is a real unique company. So like most companies are like, they're straight up like, hey, we're an American company, but we get stuff made in China. Or we're an American company and we design stuff and then we have it made in China. Powerbase is a Chinese company that sells in America and they don't hide nothing. They're straight up like, no, dude, we're like a manufacturer in China. We make stuff and we sell it in the US. So they're actually an OE for a lot of other companies. They make other people's products. They just decided, hey, we're making all this stuff. Why don't we get on the front lines and get, so we're not a third party to everything. So they made their own company. If you'd like to know more about Powerbase, we did an interview with a guy by the name of Jeff Fox. Yep. And he works for Powerbase. He's the regional here in Florida. And actually, I think it's the Southeast United States. And he told us all about Powerbase. It's a real cool company. We've been trying to work with them for a while. It's just one of the products they make, and this is the thing I really like about, is they are, in my mind, the coolest when it comes to factory OE replacements, like these guys right here, which you can't see because all this other stuff is stacked on them. But like if you have a car that has one of those idiotic plastic brackets, they make speakers that'll just plug right in and go. So it's kind of nice. I like that. Yeah. Okay, let's reset down to here. Hey guys, happy Good Friday. Oh yeah, it is Good Friday. Thank you. Happy Good Friday to you. I keep forgetting that Easter is Sunday. This is going to be... So, like, we have a tradition for Easter. Fernando's come a couple times. We meet up with my buddy Artie, who works at Amp Global. He's our sales guy. For the past 16 years? 16? At least 15 years. We go over to his house. We've been doing it since Haley was, like, that big. And this will be the first year, as I'm sure a lot of you guys... These traditions are just falling apart. But, that's what's happened. So I'll sit at home and we'll eat ham. Maybe we'll FaceTime him or do something like that. And we can all just pretend. And that'll just be depressing. Glad to see y'all working, staying safe. We're trying our hardest. That's right. You cut out the other day. Sorry, I didn't hear your answer. AC, I was the 1200 running. The bit 10. Okay, this was bit 10. What should I put the amp crossover at? Same crossover as the DSP. Well, if you're running a bit 10, I would just leave the crossover off on the amplifier. There's really no reason to have the crossover on both. The bit 10 has a good enough crossover to handle everything. So, yeah, just use the LC for power. Okay, I hate it when I do that. Hey Dean, Nando, what's going on? Are the Tamper amps, amplifiers, any good? Terra amps, any good?
Tamarando.
Tamarack, Tamahar. You know, we've done one.
Yes.
I've talked to a couple engineer friends of mine, and anytime the amplifier gets brought up, it's usually followed by a laugh. I don't know. The one we put on two W7, JLW7 10s or 12s? 12s?
12.
You know, and it was 3,000 watts. It was the size of, you know, the small little matchbox, and the woofers made noise. And if that's the criteria you're looking for, kudos for you. The LC 1.800 on a set of kicker comp Q10s and a ported box. Your opinion? Good match? Yeah.
Ooh, you're gonna blow them.
No, he's not. The Q10s.
Oh, the Q.
The Q10s. Slow it down, killer. He's gonna freaking hammer the shit out of him.
Yes.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, you're gonna like that.
Yes.
You're gonna like that a lot. I have all power base in my JK. 4 6.5s, 4 tweeters, components, 1 10-inch on 5-channel. 10 years, no issues.
Awesome.
Can't beat that.
Yeah.
Can't beat that at all. Have you tried curd nutter to clean cars? It's a degreaser. No. Curd cutter. Curd nut. Okay. I'll remember that. Maybe not. No, we have not. Dean, can I make a hot knife using a X-Acto blade and a torch for cutting Teflex? Yes. Yes, you can, Bobby. Or what I like to do a lot of the time, I mean, that'll be a nice clean cut for sure. But sometimes what I'll do is once I get it done, I just take my torch and I hold it round and I just kind of like braise the top of it and go real slow. But yeah, no, that's a good idea.
And then grab your fingers and just press it.
No, if you just had a knife sitting there, yeah, that would cut it. I mean, obviously, you know, yeah, that would work. It's a good idea. Or a razor blade. Maybe just put a razor blade on, like make a mount for a straight razor blade and like a piece of wood and just sit there with the torch and heat it up.
Yeah.
And then, you know, use that. That would do really well too. Can't turn the LC 6100 crossover off on the audio control amplifier. Then turn it up all the way. So turn it either all the way up or all the way down, and then that'll work fine. Okay, I think you're right. Yeah, I know you're right because you're looking at it. I'm not. But yes. So for example, if your crossover point you want it to be 80, those things you just turn it all the way down or all the way up. So turn your subs all the way up, turn your highs all the way down, so that their crossover points are so far away from anything you'll actually be using, they don't matter. It's kind of what you. Yes, that would work fine. Okay, 2018 Sierra 2500 with Bose system. Would a 45 watt times 4 amp be worth putting in, or should I look for a higher wattage amp to see a noticeable difference? Running hertz. Yeah, you're gonna want a bigger amp. You're definitely going to want a bigger amp, and you're also going to want to add the Amp Pro to that, Amp Pro GM61. If you're not already running that, you're going to want that so that you can get a clean, non-Bose affected DSP'd sound out of it. The Bose has equalization on it. It's just horrible. So Amp Pro GM61 into whatever amp you're looking at. Try to look for something for like 75 watts-ish would be cool. And then, of course, size. Honestly, favorite amplifier to put in those because of the size is the Rockford T404, the little micro T404. That one, because it's tiny. We do that one in a 750.1 as a DSR1 plugged into an Amp Pro on those. We can put them on a nice little board. I think there's a picture on Instagram where I have like DSR1, a 750.1, and a 404 all lined up on like this little tiny skinny piece of plastic. And that just slides right up underneath that back seat. No problems whatsoever. Hey, I see Kenwood has had the new head units on their site. They might, but they're not shipping. All right. I'm sorry I miss a bunch of questions, guys, but, you know, I answer them, and then, you know, it's what happens. Okay, turn the AC audio control amp crossover all the way down if using the bit 10 DSP crossover points. Yes, that'll work perfect. There you go. What would recommend? I have 10-inch kicker, solo barrack, and a ported box. What speaker should I go with? 6 3/4 up front and rear. It really just comes down to size. The 6.5 and 6 3/4, depending on who's making it, really sometimes isn't a different speaker. Like they'll make a 6.5 and they'll make a 6 3/4, and it's the same mid-range, but they just put a bigger basket around it for more screw provisions. The only company that really goes crazy on that one is Rockford in the Punch series, because they make a Punch 6, 6.5, and 6 3/4, and all three of them are different sizes. And like for Chrysler, the 6 3/4 is great, because like for Jeep or anything that uses that 3-hole Chrysler thing, it just screws right into place and everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome. Is it possible to install the high 10 on a 2013 Jeep Wrangler? Yes. Yeah, of course. Why not? That would fit. Yep, that'll work. Razor blade and a vise and a torch it. Very good. That'll work. That'll work, Bobby. It's okay. Curd leader. It's, I think, Lowe's or Home Depot carries it. Okay, cool. Curds. KRUDD. I might actually already have some of that. That sounds familiar. Okay, thank you. Hillbilly in Canada and had to get ABS from Specialty Plastics Fab Shop. Oh my gosh. Should I only use my Alpine head unit low pass filter and leave my amps low pass filter all the way up? Yes, I mean, I prefer using the one in the radio because I get to control it. I don't want to have to keep walking to the back of the car. If your low-pass filter can't be shut off on the amplifier, then just like we're talking about the audio control, turn it all the way up so that you can use the one in the head unit and have, you know, full control and play and do all the other fun stuff. Did you already say what is going in that Toyota Lexus? This is actually a Nissan, and no, we haven't talked about what's going in it yet because we're not to that part of the video. Right now, we're just doing roadkill and putting the factory speakers back on. And that's it for today. I know it's very anticlimactic, but whatever. Did you get it all put back together, Fernando?
Everything is done.
All right. Well, hey, guys, that's it for today's, fun and excitement. Thank you so much for playing along with us, Fernando.
Thank you, guys.
Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow. If not, we'll see you guys tomorrow night on the YouTubes. Because it's a Saturday show where we get to answer more questions and have more fun and talk shop and have story and... you know, all the fun things that we can do.
That's right.
All right, guys. Have a great night, as always.
Bye.
Bye. Are you ready to open the box?
Yes. I always like to open boxes.
Let's open the box.
Let's open the box. What's in the box?
I know what's in the box. I just, come and open it. I mean, I paid for it, so I know what's in it. Oh,
okay.
Yeah. What's going on, everyone? Hey, Omni Inc. Do you follow Omni Inc?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, dude, you should be looking at his stuff.
Hey, from Germany. Ooh, we have Germany stuff in there.
Yeah, right. The Ground Zero, straight from Germany.
All right.
Do you have a knife? I got one sitting right there next to the camera.
But you have one.
Yep, right next to the camera. So we ordered these, and they came in, and like anything else, I just like opening stuff, and it's always fun. And just watching Fernando take his sweet-ass time opening this stuff up. No, that's okay. Go slow. Make it last. It's all we got today, so. I mean, we've done cars today, but, this is what we got. Alabama! What's going on?
Alabama. What is this?
So this is, of course, WCCarAudio.com. For those of you guys who have never heard of this company before, this is Steve Mead's company. I ordered us some tools.
Dun, 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 dun.
Little SMD design here. And yes, before you ask, we paid full price for these. These were not gifts from Steve. We did not ask for anything from Steve. You got to pay your own way. They are not DD1s. We already have those. But, yes. It is two of these bad boys. Open it up. Take it out of the bag. Yeah. So these are the new IMSG1s. Ooh, look at that. The main reason why I wanted to get this over the old one, which we do have, so, and I will not be giving it away, so don't ask. Where's it at? There it is. This is the old one here, for those of you guys that have never seen the old one. But one of the nice features of this is it'll give you, it'll help you find your, Jesus, what am I trying to say here? Your impedance on your tweeter so that you can figure out your crossover point.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you that obviously don't have one of these, I strongly recommend downloading all his instruction manuals, whether you own the product or not, because they are packed full of Tony D'Amore goodness. And there is a ton of information here that you can learn just by reading these. Like, you often ask about crossover points. He has a whole dissertation in here about finding these things out. So, but here's what you got. You got the old one, the original old school guy right here. You got the new one. Look at that new knob. Ooh.
The new knob is pretty
cool. New knob feels good. So yeah. And then new ends. So we have a new case. Yeah.
I like this case. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
You like that case? Is that a cool case?
That's a cool case.
But, you know, having the right tool to do the job is what it's all about. Oh, his Sunflash. Yeah, the Sunflash resin that he sells. Good stuff. He was having a hard time shipping those out. Glad you got them. Yeah, we waited until it was all squared away, and once they were in stock, then I went ahead and ordered them. But, because I hate waiting, I'm not going to lie. So it's like, as long as I know they're in stock, it's like, then I'll take the time to just go through it and get it in. But the reason, so when this is figuring out your ohm load for, let's say, a tweeter to set your crossover, this one does it automatically, whereas this one you had to sit here and pay attention to the numbers and write them all down. This one will just do it. You just do a sweep and it'll figure out for you and give you the information, which to me is way cool. Super cool, right? It's hella cool, as Steve would say. It's hella cool, bro. I need some 16 gauge Stinger. Wish you guys were around here. Oh yeah, that sucks. There he is. Follow Dean and Fernando car stereo clips. They misspelled impedance on the first batch. Oh, did they? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's right. The stickers were wrong. I forgot. Yep. Yeah. Hey, well, you know, spell check is a tough thing. What's up, Bobby? How's it going? But we got him in. But like I said, download his manuals, man. These things are just chock full of information. And, you know, it's good stuff. So, like, getting the FS with this, you can, a lot of manufacturers just post that stuff online. So you can just go online and check out the FS. And once you have that information, you can then just, you know, use his formulas to figure out your crossover points. But for us, because we deal with multiple different products and we don't always have access to that, or the manufacturer doesn't put that information online for whatever reason, it's helpful to have the tool so you can just go in and do it. What do you got? Finding the tuning frequency of a ported subwoofer enclosure system. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Remember when we did that when we first got the tool? We went through went in the showroom and we literally did every pre-made box that was in there, and they're all between 32 and 34. Yeah. Follow 12 volt clean wire club.
That's right.
He's on point today. Way to go, man. Way to go. Andy from Audio writes, thesis is not on time alignment. Yeah, Audio Frog information. Those of you guys that, whether you love Audio Frog or not, I'm a big fan. But Andy Waymeyer,
yeah, that's right,
the guy in charge of that train, he writes a ton of stuff. First off, follow him on Facebook. If you're not following on Facebook, you don't have to like friend him. Just follow him and read his stuff, because his audio stuff is just. And he's one of those guys that like the body of work at the beginning of the Facebook is just part of it. So he it's almost like he's thinking as he goes. So it's like the top of it. Look at the love coming. Look at that love is like the beginning, and then you have to read down because he just keeps going it, and it's freaking hilarious. But it is such amazing information. Then of course, if you go to Audio Frog, you can download his papers where he's just wrote books on just like crossover points and time alignment, and like we've sat in many of his class. Hey, America Car from Brazil. What's going on?
Cars.
Yeah.
What's up, Bobby?
Yeah, seriously, blows me away. So he used to work for JBL. That's where, and the MS8 is his baby. But yeah, for those of you that know old school car audio, that's something to think about there. But yes, definitely, he's one of the guys you want to. And this is all free stuff. It's all free stuff. This stuff doesn't cost anything. It's kind of like us. We don't charge you guys for this, and the show is free. I mean, we're totally thankful when you guys throw stuff up on YouTube. Like, that's pretty badass. But least favorite car to do a stereo on besides Nissan. No, I don't mind. I mean, like the old school Nissan 300, 280. Yeah, those sucked.
Yeah.
Least favorite. I mean, it's probably going to be a German car just because of the... I mean, it'd have to be like a German car, I would think.
That you don't like to work on?
Yeah. But it's like, those didn't really bother me. I mean, like I don't know. Gosh.
The only thing I don't like is the old cars.
Yeah, it would have to be an old car.
Yeah.
Just because they're brittle.
Break.
Yeah.
They break
I hate
so easy.
Super brittle cars.
And then in the end, it's like, you have to be more careful. Yeah.
Well, yeah, a lot careful. A lot more careful.
Yes.
Big words. A lot more careful.
A lot more careful. Word of the day.
A lot more careful. No, but as far there's a guy out there now that's charging to answer questions, which I think is hey, it's a business model, run with it. I never poke fun at anybody's business model. If you can make it work, make it work. But we don't charge for answering questions. We answer as many questions as we possibly can. I mean, yesterday we were on for an hour answering questions. The day before that, I think we were on for a half hour. So, I mean, it's like when you look at the 5-star recap show, I think this week it came in at 2 hours long. That's 2 hours of answering questions plus an hour of Facebook and an hour. That's 4 hours of question and answer plus all the videos we put out. And that's a lot of information that just is there for you guys to have access to. So anytime we tell you that there's more access to other information, you should be to take advantage of it. Do it. I mean, why not?
Just search.
But the one thing I have to say is that, and this was brought to my attention, apparently someone asked me a question on some form of social media. I don't know what. And it was like, I didn't answer it. And it's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't answer the question. I'm sorry I don't get to answer all these questions like you guys are answering me questions now, and I'll get to them. But two things. One, we all need a break. And when I'm not editing and I'm not sleeping, or I'm not working on a car, I'm not doing everything, it's like, yeah, if I don't get to your question, I'm sorry. There's only so many hours in the day I can put towards this, okay? And we do put a lot towards it because it's this monster we've created and we want to keep it going. I totally understand that. And the fact that you guys have all come along with us on this journey is wonderful.
Thank you.
But everybody needs some time alone or some time to spend with their family. So you got to respect that. And secondly, if you ask a question and we don't get to it, and then the next question you ask is, how come you didn't answer my question? And we read that, guess what? You lost that opportunity for us to answer your question. Don't write those things. If we don't answer your questions, it's sorry. It didn't happen. We're not terrible people, and we didn't skip over you because we don't like you. It's just, it happens, okay?
And the reason why is because every time you guys ask a question, it's not like the dean is going to give you yes, this is what you need. He give you the why you need that and what is the reason. We try
to make it a universal thing.
Exactly. So that take, like, for
answer
example,
the broader
3,
questions.
2, 4, 5 minutes, right? And then for that 5 minutes, it's like 10, 20 questions they already passed. And, I mean, we can't even get it to it. So
sucks.
But other than that, just keep posting the questions.
We'll eventually get to you. Do I sleep? Actually, this week I had to get some sleep because I was, like, super tired. I was dragging serious ass. Like, when we do these shows, I try to hype up to do them, and then it's like, then the downfall after these is like, oh my God. But no, this week it really hit me hard. Just because there's been so much stress, as you guys all know. You guys are feeling it too. And it was just so much stress this week. It was like, oh my God, I just got to get some sleep. I got to get some downtime. I got to stop thinking about it. I shut off Messenger on my phone. So it was like last night I sat down and watched some TV, and I looked and I was like, I had all these messages from Messenger, and I was like, oh my God, dude, because I shut it off for like 2 days. I just needed a break. and it was like, I'm sorry, but and there again, we try to do as much as we can for as many people as we can. And sometimes it's like we don't intentionally skip over your questions. We don't intentionally not get back to you. It's just like there's only so many hours in the day that we can put towards this and answer these questions. Most of the time, the questions you guys are asking, we've already answered. It's just a matter of looking for it.
Right. So, for example, this one. I'm looking for any ideas on my front door speakers for MK4 Golf 2003. I love that car. Anyway, any ideas?
What ideas would you like?
I mean, me?
Yeah.
I would do vocals.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
Nobody in Orlando has Stinger Pro. I should have bought it when I ordered the amp. Oh, dude, I'll have to talk to. To somebody.
You sharing knowledge has cost me spend about $6,000 with 5-star in 5 years.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that was kind of the ulterior motive. In the beginning, that was what we were doing. We were just trying to... Honestly, it all started to make our lives easier, and it has deviated as far from that as possible. Because for those who don't know, this all started was just so that we could show people how to set their clocks twice a year. And it kind of grew from that into what it is now. And it has flipped. It has actually created a lot more stress in my life than the idea was in the beginning. And it's believe it or not, this is also very expensive to do this. Granted, we get a lot of that back from our online store at DNF Tool Drawer. That's what helps to pay for things when you guys click on those links and go to Amazon and you buy the tools that we use. Those help to pay for. That helps to pay for the show because producing the show is not cheap.
All right, so it's a commercial time. So.
Oh, it's commercial time?
It's a commercial time.
Oh, okay.
Go to Amazon. You don't have to buy it. Just click on it.
Well, no, you got to go to DNF Tool Drawer first, and then that takes you to Amazon, and then you just
And then just click it and look, and buy something.
But, but this is definitely a labor of love for us. I mean, for me, after 30 years of doing car audio, if I was just doing the same thing every day, it just gets boring. But being able to actually give back what we give back and share and get people interested in car audio again and realize that this has never gone away. It's still as fun as it was back in the 90s, actually a lot funner, and that it's still cool and we still make cool products and we still have neat things and we can still make cars sound great. And, that's kind of the motivation behind all that. It's what it is. But we try to answer as many questions as we can, and if I don't respond to you, just don't take it personal. Just realize that it's like, look, I didn't see it. And there again, I went and looked for this person where they supposedly, and I couldn't find it. It's like between Instagram, Facebook, direct messaging, Patreon, and all these places where people send me stuff. I can't keep track of it. Yeah.
All right. How can I get better understanding crossover points or something like that on the DSR-1?
Understanding crossover points?
Yes.
I mean, when I needed to understand crossover points, I bought a huge book that's the size of a phone book and kind of read through that. Yeah. But as far as figuring out crossover points, there again, this manual right here, the IMSMG1, written by this guy right here, has a great section in it that talks about figuring out your crossover points with the numbers that you're going to get from this tool. But you don't need this tool if you know what the numbers are. So a lot of manufacturers publish those numbers, and you can just use this to figure that out. I don't mean to take anything away from this product. That's why we bought it, because we don't always... we're not always lucky enough to get products that we can go and look that information up on, or the manufacturer doesn't give it. But if they do, and you have that information, you can use this knowledge that they've put together to figure that stuff out. So just download it. Download them. It's cool.
Nobody in Orlando has a Stinger.
Yeah, I saw that. Dude, your information is awesome and free. I can't understand how someone gets angry when you don't answer questions. Because it's what we do. I mean, it's everyone. It's natural. I understand. I totally understand. And trust me, if I could answer everyone's question, I totally would. But I just can't. But maybe this week I can't. Maybe next week I can. So it just kind of goes on. Hey, love the show. Looking for a pair of new amps. Morel Ooh, or the new Artisan SR. Any input? I got to tell you right off the bat, like the new SRs, I haven't had time to work with them. They just came out, so we're gonna get our hands on a couple of those. But the Morel amps, we've been talking about this all week. I don't know how we haven't done an unboxing of those. The thing with the Morel amps is they're awesome amps and they're extremely reasonably priced. I have no problem. That's what I'm running my car. I got a bunch of them to put in there. So yeah, I don't think you're going to go wrong with either one. You're trying to decide between the blue Ferrari and the red Ferrari, whichever one works for you, but they're both great amplifiers. Just pick one.
All right, for sound quality, debating between Hertz and Focal to replace the factory speakers. If you, I mean, like I say, you guys know I love Focal. I always go with the K2s or Flax. I mean,
blue Ferrari.
Yeah, exactly. But Hertz make
the
Pros,
the Milli Pros, Milli Legends, Cento Pros, Centos.
So that will be right there.
I didn't hear the question, so I
would pick Focal, like I say, Focal. Flax. Go with the Flax. If you can spend the money, go with the K2s. Yeah.
Flax Evos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people like those Flax Evos. Okay, so this is a funny one. What would you use with the G9 Sony? So I'm guessing you mean the GS9 Sony. What would you use with it? Whatever you want. I mean, that's the thing. Just whatever you want. Whatever you want to do. It's, when they say, you're building blocks of your stereo, you start with the best and you kind of work your way up. If you're going to be a head unit guy, that's like the best head unit you're going to get as far as the content you're going to provide. But the thing you have to keep in mind in any system, it's only as strong as its weakest link. If all you're going to be listening to is Spotify, Pandora, things like that, build your system accordingly. Yeah. You don't necessarily need all the high-res stuff, but keep this in mind. Today, like, everyone is like, we know Spotify is working on high-res, or you can get really good sound quality from Spotify now. Apple hasn't jumped on board yet, but we know the only reason why Apple hasn't jumped on board is because they wait until it's perfect, or it's close enough to perfect before they come out. But I'm pretty sure at some point Apple's going to drop a high-res. And they're going to be like, yeah, here you go. For this much a month, you can get high-res. And everyone's going to be like,
always the money.
Yeah, woo! So if you build your system for what's the best today, then you're going to be upgrading it tomorrow. So that is just one thing to keep in mind when designing or trying to figure something out. If you plan for today and not tomorrow, you're going to be screwed tomorrow. So always think a little bit ahead.
Yeah.
All right, red or blue Ferraris. Everyone's chiming in. Red, Sony, G. Yeah, there you go. Red. Everyone likes the red. Red, I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I mean, Ferraris should all be red in my mind. I mean, that's what they were when I was a kid. But I don't know. Blue Ferrari might be cool. I have worked on one. I'm not a fan of the black, though. The black Ferrari just doesn't do anything for me. I don't know why. I have engine noise, and it goes away when the engine gets wet. I move my ground, and it's still there. Any thoughts? Sounds like something underneath the hood, maybe not the system. Maybe you need to check the factory electrical system side of things. Maybe you have a bad ground underneath the hood. Or maybe you have something going on in the alternator. Or maybe there's a short in one of the wirings underneath the hood. So at this point, you may need to venture forth outside of the stereo and check what's going on underneath at the battery. Maybe you have a bad battery, and when it gets wet, I don't know. But it sounds like it might not be the stereo. It might be something underneath the hood. Mm-hmm. That has happened before. What would you recommend for mids and highs making a box for a Suburban for open space in the middle row? Oh, so you can do like a loud box, like with mids and highs and stuff like that? I don't know. I mean, depends on what you're trying to do. If you want it stupid loud, pick up some loudspeakers, get some like selenium horns or something and some PV style stuff and just go stupid. Or if you're trying to make it sound good, I don't know, and loud, pick up like some Rockford Power Series components. Whatever works for you. Why do you think the PRS-80 has been current for so many years? Because people keep buying it. As long as people keep buying something, they will keep making it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only thing. Trust me. we asked the same thing. The Bluetooth on it is so out of date. They don't even update it. They haven't done any. Like if they came out with a PRS 81 and just updated it, people would lose their minds. But they're not going to do that because it's like we still got. Let's just keep making this thing that everybody wants, and whatever. And it's like
it's a good product, but at today's standards, I feel that it's more than you can get from that.
You mean there's other things you can get that are better?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But hey, people like it.
Yeah.
They'll keep making it.
Like I say, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a good product.
Yeah. Also, Chris told me. Okay, that's an answer to that.
All right.
Burt Brown Dax. Actually, it's funny. We were talking with somebody yesterday about Burt Brown parts. And there was a manufacturer. We were talking about amplifier manufacturers, meaning the companies that build the amplifiers for you. So you design an amplifier, you go to a build house, you say, I want it built like this, I want these parts in it, and they go, yeah, whatever you want. So it's basically like a custom amplifier manufacturer. A lot of these guys, that's what they do. There are some manufacturers that just build stuff and then they put your name on it, and there's some manufacturers that build what you want built.
Whatever you want, I do it for you.
And what they were talking about, there was a manufacturer that because obviously more than one manufacturer gets built at one build house. And the company came in and they said, we'll take that amp that you guys have already designed, just trade out all the components for Burt Brown. And they're like, that'll actually make the product worse. Like, we don't care. We just want to be able to say every component is a Burt Brown component. And they're like, but it'll sound worse. Doesn't matter. Burt Brown. So they did it. And they sell it, and it's funny because, it actually sounds worse than the original design for the product, but they didn't give a shit. They didn't rethink it. They didn't do anything. They just said, put those parts in. And even the build house was like, well, we need to rework all this stuff. Like, don't even worry about it. We'll just sell it because it has that name. So don't always buy that name. Burt Brown is awesome. Don't get me wrong. And it's funny because, like, Kenwood, that used to be the selling point of the Kenwoods in the late 90s. Is everything came with a Burt Brown DA converter built into it. And now they don't do that. And Alpine tried it for a little while, and now they don't do it. But, it's funny how just sometimes that, and it's bullshit.
All right, subwoofer sensitivity. Back in the 90s was a big thing.
Yes.
To check. Now nobody mentions that.
No, because if you looked at some of the sensitivity now, it's like you need a gazillion watts. Back in the 90s, in the 80s, in that time, you look at like what was available for the big amplifiers. So you had like an Orion Beast, PPI had theirs, Rockford had theirs, but they're all right around 1,000 watts. As we know now, because Big D Wiz has had time to put them on the amp dyno, it's like they're not even 1,000 watts. They're like 800 watts. So we needed an efficient speaker to get loud and deal with that power. Now you got 10,000 watt amps. I mean, shit. Look at that thing. That's 10,000 watts of cardiac arrest right there. And that's 10 years old? By today's standards, it's like nothing. You got 10Ks and 20Ks and soon to be 30K amplifiers. So you kind of got to, that's not that big of a deal because there's so much power. But, yeah. 5-star Teesprings. Go to Teesprings. Teesprings.store/5-star and pick up cool shirts. Did you bring a shirt tonight?
I bring.
What shirt did you bring tonight?
I bring 2 shirts.
I brought 1 shirt.
Which one?
I brought the Clean Wire Club.
Oh, I got the
Okay, good. You are
different.
different.
All right. Hey, guys. I got a 2017 Ram with the 8.4 screen.
Yeah.
I just put the AP4 CH41.
Yeah.
And thanks to you, I hook it up to the Infinity Kappa K5s and the JBL G. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the DoorDash. Todd's also getting the DMA 608 next week. This is the first. Also, Chris at Audio Control told me they use voltage doubler in the DM608 to double the voltage on the AP4CH41 to amp. Is that a good idea?
I mean, we've never done it.
We've never done that. I mean, because we don't even need it.
We've never used that before. I mean, we just go out of the AP into. I mean, because.
But double the voltage. What we wanna.
I don't know.
I mean, it's.
I don't know. I mean, it's got 5 volts output. We've always just run the 5 volts out of the it right into whatever processor we're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to ask Chris about that. I don't. Oh, I'm wearing my 5-star shirt now. But no, we have never done that. We just out of the 5 volts out into the processor and go.
Yeah.
That's all we've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
What was the question on double voltage? If they should do it. I don't know. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have no idea. Wearing my yellow 5-star. Oh, cool. I'm gonna make a purple shirt.
Thank you, Tony. I love
came in late. Hope you guys are staying busy today and found my original head unit from O2 in storage. Extreme sound single din. Wow. Wow. I have a good day. Everyone back to work. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's cool. No, today's okay. What time is it? Almost 2:00. We got 3 more hours. No, 4 more hours. 4 more hours before the show. Jesus, that stinks. Okay. These have been going really long lately.
Yeah.
And that kind of stinks.
It is because we don't have nothing, but make a pink shirt.
Got my hoodie right now.
I love pink shirt.
You want a pink shirt?
Yeah.
What do you want it to be though? That's the thing.
I work on that.
I need a logo for it.
I know.
There was a guy that does designs logos, and he sent me his information. He's like, I'd really like you guys to design something. I was like, okay, I need to reach out to him because I got to come up with something.
For the breast cancer support, there you go, pink shirt.
You need help.
Come on, guys.
Follow Dean and Fernando's car stereo clips, and also clean wire clips. So yeah, definitely, we're almost there where we need to be on YouTube. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and do it. It's way past 5 minutes. I know. That's it. That's it for now. I want to end this before we go crazy. Remember, tune in tonight at 6 o'clock. YouTube. We're going to answer more questions. We'll be talking some more stuff. We'll all kick back. It's the end of the day. It's the second day of the weekend. Or for those of you that don't know, today is physically Saturday. I understand there's some of you out there who might not know that. It's okay. But tonight at 6 o'clock, head over to YouTube. We'll be there. We'll be answering questions. We'll be having a fun time. I can't wait for that. Bye.